pitcher. Really, Williams could have gone to Miller at third and gotten the out, I think. And instead took the sure out at first, and runners are at second and third now with one gone. And Derek Sain, who picked up a base hit his first time up, standing at the plate. That may be one of those situations where lack of familiarity with a team.
Right.
Not knowing who has speed and who doesn't. First pitch to Sain, foul back, strike one. Sain hit the ball hard his first time. Moved up to second on an error by the right fielder. Selene was left stranded. Williams pitching from a stretch with runners at second and third. Pitches high. And the count goes 1-1 on Derek Sain. With Josh Bell unavailable due to that broken finger suffered a couple of weeks ago, Steve Renfro has a lot of options for the designated hitter role. Stretch 1-1. Missed inside. Count goes 2-1.
We saw one option against left-handed pitching at the SEC tournament where Carl Ammonite actually is the DH. And Josh Todd is inserted at first base, a better defensive first baseman in that scenario.
2-1 to Sain. Fouled out of play behind him, and the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Auburn's designated hitter. First game this afternoon, Ohio State beat Clemson 10-8. Clemson got out to an early lead. Auburn with an object lesson from that as the Tigers lead it here 2-0. Runners lead. Pitches fouled back again. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on Derek Sain. Of course, Auburn out to a 2-run lead early in this game. And trying to add to that lead here with 1 out and runners at second and third for Derek Sain. Adam Quillian, big right-hander from Atlanta. On the mound for Princeton. He stretches. 2-2 pitch on the way. Missed inside. Count full now on Derek Sain.
Trying to get it in on the hands of Derek Sain that time, but Quillian had just left it up above the belt a little bit.
Stretch by Quillian. Payoff pitch on the way to Sain. Missed inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded for Chuck Girolamo.
Good at bat for Derek Sain. He was at 2-2 and got a curveball that he was really fooled on and kept the hands back enough and got the bat on the ball just to stay alive and then worked the walk of the next 2 pitches.
So the bases are loaded now with Sain at first. Thomas, outstanding speed at second. Ammonite at first, 1 out. Girolamo had a sac fly and an RBI his first trip. Hit the ball very hard. He takes a fast strike, and it's 0-1. Playing Girolamo straight away. Infield bunched a little bit, maybe just a step. They'd like to get 2 if they could. The 0-1 pitch. Taken outside. The count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike. They play Girolamo straight away, and they play him fairly deep, especially in center and right. He hit the ball very hard to center field his first trip. Stretch by Quillian. 1-1. Pops foul out of play. And the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Auburn shortstop. 2-0. Auburn leads it in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 out. Auburn with the bases loaded against the Princeton Tigers starter, Adam Quillian. Girolamo wanting to put this ball in place somewhere. Stretch, 1-2, slow curve way outside. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Girolamo has been so productive down at the bottom of the order. 4th on the team in RBIs. That's not bad coming from the number 9 hitter.
2-2 on the way, popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule is now called and in effect, and the runners will all have to hold as the second baseman, Young, moves over and gloves it right near the foul line. Got it in fair territory for out number 2, so everybody has to hold. Now pressure on Sean Gamble to pick Auburn up here. Tigers got the first 2 men on, had the bases loaded with 1 out. Now 2 down, and nothing across for Auburn in this inning.
And Gamble has done nothing but popped it up twice. So let's see what kind of adjustments he's made. First 2 at-bats against Quillian. He's gotten under the ball and flied it into the outfield on an easy couple of fly balls.
Stretch by Quillian. Runners lead. First pitch missed inside, ball 1. Quillian does not walk very many. Pitched over 65 innings, walked only 16. Pitch bounced foul by Gamble, and the count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gamble has outstanding speed. Auburn with great speed at second base, average speed at first in the person of Derek Sain. One ball, 1 strike on leadoff man Sean Gamble. Gamble has seen his average dip below the 300 mark, and with an 0 for 2 night. 295 as he steps in now. There's a high fly ball on the right side. The right fielder is back. Salini, short of the track, comes in a step now and makes the play for out number 3. So Auburn threatens but does not score. The Tigers no runs on 2 hits. There were no Princeton errors and 3 men left on base. We played 4. It's Auburn 2, Princeton nothing. This is the Auburn Network. We move to the 5th inning. Auburn leading Princeton by a score of 2-0. 8-9-1 for Princeton. Set to face Lavelle Spigner. Spigner through 4 innings. Princeton with no runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Auburn 2 runs on 5 hits and no errors. All 4 of the Princeton hits have come after 2 outs. So Lavelle Spigner has had 4 excellent innings so far. Mike Chernoff steps in to lead things off. Auburn right-hander winds and delivers a curveball high for ball 1. Chernoff struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. Pitch is a curve that missed outside this time. Quickly 2-0. Count on the Princeton shortstop, Mike Chernoff. Auburn plays him way around toward right field. I don't think he's going to pull Spigner. And there's a fastball high. And Lavelle Spigner struggling with his control here to open the top of the 5th inning. 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball way outside. And a 4-pitch walk for Princeton's number 8 hitter. Auburn squandered a golden opportunity with runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And the bases loaded of 1 out. And the bottom of the 4th didn't get anything out of that opportunity. Designated hitter Eric Fitzgerald steps in. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Chernoff leads at first. First pitch is high for ball 1, and that's 5 straight that have missed the strike zone badly for Lavelle Spigner. Bobby Huddleston going to call a timeout, go out and talk to his fellow senior battery mate. These 2 guys have been through a lot at Auburn together. Huddleston, a 5th-year senior. Lavelle Spigner, his 4th year on the Flames. Now we're set to go. 1-0 pitch. Called a strike at the knees. Good fastball. On the count evens at 1-1.
Lavelle Spigner trying to rebound from what was one of his worst starts of his career last year in the regionals in Tuscaloosa against Florida Atlantic.
Stretch in the 1-1. Bounce towards second. Could be 2. Hewlett to short for 1. On to first. Not in time. Had an extra loop in it. Hewlett had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Fielder's choice. And give Geralman some credit there on the out at second, 4-6, as he had to make kind of a stretch and still got a pivot and a throw to first to make it reasonably close. 1 man retired. They get the leading man. And Eric Fitzgerald is at first base with 1 out. We go back to the top of the order. Steve Young steps in. Young is 0 for 2. He's bounced to second and bounced to first. Little left-handed hitter with an open stance. First pitch is low for ball 1.
Talking about Spigner's outing a year ago against Florida Atlantic, he did not record an out in that opening game of the regional. Gave up 3 hits and 5 runs. Wanting to bounce back. Typically a good postseason pitcher, but had a rough outing last year in Tuscaloosa.
Stretch. 1-0 is popped up. Short center field out behind second. Even on the dirt is Hewlett. He'll make the play for out number 2.
Spigner, one of my earliest memories of Lavelle, he had a solid freshman year, but had worked his way into the starting rotation about halfway, a little more than halfway through the season. But he had an outing against Georgia Southern in the regional in Atlanta at Georgia Tech that Auburn just had to have. As a true freshman, he went 6 innings, 6 2/3 innings, got the win in an elimination game and kept Auburn alive in that regional. Just showed a lot of grit and determination as a freshman.
Here's B.J. Zamansky with the runner going on the first pitch. Slow curve, throw to second. Great throw, but he's in safely with a stolen base, says Eric Fitzgerald with a huge jump that time on Lavelle Spigner.
7 stolen base and 8 attempts for Fitzgerald. So he obviously has run a little bit this year for Princeton, and they're just trying to make something happen now. They got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
They wanted to be aggressive. Auburn grabbed that early 2-0 lead. Right now that's standing up. 1-0 is fouled back to the screen. The count evens 1-1 on B.J. Zemansky. Zemansky 1 for 2, struck out swinging in the first and had a 2-out single in the third. Big, tall, left-handed hitter is Zemansky. Stands 6'5", 190. Stretch, 1-1, line into right field, base hit. Thomas is charging. They're going to hold the runner right there. And the throw gets away and will come to the screen. And Fitzgerald is sliding in safely. And the runner moves down to second.
Well, Thomas rushed the throw a little bit. As it turns out, he didn't need to because they had planned to hold the runner at third anyway. And the throw was a 2-hopper that came off of Huddleston and all the way to the backstop. Spigner was backing up, but it got past LaBelle too and went all the way to the backstop, and that allowed the runner to score off the third.
Spigner in position. If they had to do over, Ammonite would have cut it off, but of course he can't. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He couldn't know, and it wasn't a bad throw, but it just skipped off the mid. 2-1 now. Tying run in scoring position. There's a line drive foul by John Miller. 0-1 the count on him.
Single for Zemansky, and then the E9 on Cleet Thomas in right field that allowed the run to score. No RBI on the play.
Stretch by Spigner. Runner leads at second. 0-1 on the way. Call strike 2. Good fastball on the hands of the Princeton third baseman, John Miller. We'll play him away as well. A lot of room in left center for Miller. Zemansky leads at second. Pitch is outside, and the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes on Miller. Auburn leads at 2-1. As right now, what would be an unearned run for Princeton has come across the plate. Stretching the 1-2. Pops foul out of play. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes on John Miller. John Miller, a native of Washington, D.C., went to the famous Friends School there. Sidwell Friends School is what the name of the school is. 1-2 is high, and the count evens at 2-2.
Okay, they go all over the country, this Princeton. They've got guys from Washington State, Atlanta, Georgia, New Jersey, California, Texas.
2-2 on the way. Fly ball center field. Going to hang up for Moran. He moves over into left center field and makes the play for out number 3. But Princeton gets an unearned run. 1 hit, 1 Auburn error, 1 man left on base. Auburn 2, Princeton 1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Auburn baseball continues in a moment.
We go to the bottom half of the 5th. Auburn leading Princeton 2-1. Checking the scoreboard, Tallahassee Regional will just go through games in progress during this half inning. Top of the 7th, Florida State, the host school, leading Jacksonville 6-0. A 1-hitter right now for the Seminoles. Down in Austin, Texas, the Longhorns lead Bucknell 3-0. Going to the 5th. Wilson, North Carolina, it's NC State 4, Lemoyne 2 in the top of the 7th. More scores as we move along here in the 5th.
2, 3, and 4 in the Auburn order. Set to face Quillian here. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Javon Moran steps in, takes the first pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Moran with a line shot to left in the first inning, struck out swinging in the third. He's 0 for 2. William to the wind, and the pitch is slide down the left field line. The fielder going back, looks up, it's off the wall. Here's Moran digging for second. There's a throw coming in, and Moran is sliding with a double.
18th double of the year for Moran, and a good start to the 5th inning for the Tigers. Some more scores down in Coral Gables. Host Miami struggling a little bit with Bethune-Cookman, the 4 seed. It's 3-2 Hurricanes in the bottom of the 6th. In Houston, Texas, Wichita State and Ole Miss are scoreless in the top half of the 3rd inning.
Adam Balkin played the left field wall very well for a visitor, seeing it for the first time, and made it relatively close on a speedy Javon Moran at second. Here's Hewlett lining the first one fair. Down the right field line. Moran will score. Right fielder up with it. Cellini, and he dropped the ball. Here goes Hewlett into second, and he'll go in cruising. We'll see how they score. It'll be at least a base hit and an RBI. And we'll see if they charge Cellini with an error as he had got over to the ball in great shape to hold Hewlett at first, or at least make a play at second.
Yeah.
And then he dropped the ball.
I imagine that the home team, it'll be a double.
Nope. They posted an error.
It'll be a single and an error. Single RBI for Hewlett and an error on the right field of the second error of the game as we get a trip to the mound here for Princeton. They've had activity on and off, and David Bowl over the last few innings. But now a visit to the mound by head coach Scott Bradley.
Yeah, it is Scott Bradley out to talk to his team, and he may have a quick hook. This is exactly what Auburn would want to happen, answering the unearned run that Princeton got in the top of the fifth with a run of their own here. So now a runner in scoring position at second, and the meat of the order coming up in Auburn with that huge threat from which they got nothing in the bottom of the fourth, trying to open a little breathing room here in the bottom of the fifth. Auburn leads at 3-1 with Bobby Huddleston, Auburn's leading RBI man, coming to the plate, the big cleanup hitting fifth-year senior out of Montgomery.
And he has just missed on a couple of pitches, just gotten underneath a couple in his first two at-bats.
He's 0 for 2 as he faces Quillian. Stretch, Hewlett leads a second. There's a wild pitch all the way back to the screen. He threw it. That was behind and above Huddleston's head. It was an off-speed curve, and Bobby didn't know which way to go. He just kind of ducked and let it sail. It looked like a Frisbee.
It was 7 or 8 feet over the top of everybody, and luckily, I don't see how the catcher even got a glove on it, to be honest with you, but somehow he did. Still went to the backstop. So now, fly ball here, scores another run for Auburn.
He got just the tip of his mitt as he jumped up, stretching like a first baseman. So runner at third. There's a pop-up down the right field line. Second baseman going out and makes the play in foul territory, and Hewlett did not tag. He came about 40 feet down the line and has to go back to third base.
Well, Bobby not getting the job done there. Wanted to get a little deeper than that, obviously, so Hewlett has to stay at third. Take a look at the scoreboard again down in College Station, Texas. Texas A&M and Oral Roberts scoreless in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Lincoln, Nebraska. 2-2 the score between Southwest Missouri State and Coastal Carolina there in the top half of the fourth inning. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tulane leading UNC Wilmington 1-0 at the bottom of the third.
Here's Ammonite with the infield in. First pitch, high ball one. So Princeton, kind of interestingly, in the bottom of the fifth inning, pulling the infield in a 3-1 game. Pitch to Ammonite is a fast strike. Count evens at 1-1. Hewlett with average speed at third. Ammonite 1 for 2 in this game. Single and was left stranded at third an inning ago and fouled out in the second inning. Pitch to him is bounced foul again. And the count now 1-2 on Carl Ammonite. Ryan Quillian now back with a baseball. 1-2 pitch to Ammonite. High outside, ball 2. With 1 out and a man at third. Somewhat critical juncture in the game here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Auburn leads at 3-1. Stretch, pitch, missed inside. The count full now on the big Auburn first baseman, Carl Ammonite. As we mentioned, Tigers wasted a huge opportunity to break this game open in the fourth inning. Now with a man at third and 1 out. Here's a pitch. Fly ball, short right field. Second baseman out. Hewlett tagging this time. And the fielders collide. Here comes Hewlett home, and he's going to score. And it's because those two fielders collided out there.
Young and Cellini miscommunicated, and they're lucky that the ball was even caught. Well, when they collided, Cellini stumbled, and that was all that Tuck Hewlett needed to tag and score from third base.
That play looked like a team that had been off for 3 weeks, Rod.
Really did.
And they have been off for 3 weeks, and that is maybe the cheapest sacrifice fly an RBI Carl Ammonite will ever get. The ball went maybe 140 feet into right field at the most, but Cellini was stumbling, and Hewlett tagged up and scored. It's Auburn leading 4-1 as Clete Thomas steps in. He fouls the first pitch off, 0-1.
And most importantly, as you mentioned, Auburn has answered and then some here in the bottom of the fifth after Princeton picked up the unearned run in the top half of the fifth.
Quillian to the line, the 0-1. Missed outside. The count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Leahy fires the ball back over the mound. Tim Leahy, in addition to being the best one of the best hitters on this Princeton team, is one of the most animated players behind the plate as well. Thomas bluffs a bunt, takes a pitch inside, has to jump out of the way, and the count goes 2-1 on the Auburn right fielder. 4-1, Auburn leads it here with 2 across in the bottom of the 5th. 2-1 pitch, fly ball left field. Left fielder Balkin lost it for a moment. Now moves back about 3 steps and makes the play in right field for out number 3. But in the inning, Auburn with 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 error, nobody left on base. We've played 5. It's Auburn 4, Princeton 1. This is the Auburn Network.
They finished raking the infield here at Plainsman Park. An opportunity to finish up the scoreboard for you in the Hattiesburg Regional at Southern Miss. Baylor leading Murray State 4-0 in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Tempe, Arizona, 1 game in the books. A final in 11 innings. New Mexico State, the 3 seed, beats UNLV 14-12. The final there. Cal State Fullerton Regional, bottom of the 9th. Notre Dame 13, Arizona 4. Fighting Irish, the 3 seed in that regional. Elsewhere at the Stanford Regional, it is UC Riverside leading. I'll check that. It's final now. UC Riverside defeats Richmond by a final score of 10-8. A couple more scores for you as we run through the inning.
4, 5, and 6 for Princeton to face Spigner. Eldridge hits the first ball. Tug Hewlett at second. He fires to first. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that's, Rod, exactly what Auburn needs from Lavelle Spigner. He's up to 87 pitches now in the 6th inning. Both pitchers getting up in the pitch count. And with the meat of the Princeton order up here, they've got to be considering this top of the 6th inning a very key inning for them to get to the Auburn starter.
Well, I think for both these pitchers, you're talking about 100 pitches as being their limit. Auburn would certainly like to build a much bigger lead and maybe get Lavelle Spigner out of the ball game in the 7th.
First pitch, swing and a miss to Andy Cellini. Cellini 0 for 2. He's bounced to short and struck out. He has had some adventures in right field, particularly an inning ago. 0-1 misses low, and the count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cellini. Spigner has been on his game, but Princeton, to their credit, been very good at working a deep count on the Auburn right-hander. Pitch is fouled out of play, and the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Princeton right fielder. Auburn leads it by 3, 4-1 here as we play in the 6th inning, but it has been a struggle. Tigers had a couple of chances to break it open. As the 1-2 goes outside, the count evens at 2-2.
Now, you knew this Princeton team was going to present a challenge. I think everyone was prepared for that, even the fans, and they've certainly given Auburn that.
2-2, bounce to the mound. Spigner gloves it and throws to Ammonite for out number 2.
Checking the scoreboard again, Long Beach Regional, Long Beach State hosting there. It's Washington leading Minnesota 4-3 in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Starkville, Mississippi, the Bulldogs all over Middle Tennessee State, 10-1 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And one more regional to get to, and Atlanta. We'll try and get to that one as soon as his first pitch is thrown to Tim Leahy.
Leahy 2 for 2, 2 line drive singles in the game so far. Swing and a miss, strike 1, and he was trying to uppercut that one over the Green Monster.
Here's the score for you. Bottom, heading to the top of the 8th. Stetson 4, Georgia Tech 2.
Surprise from Atlanta there. 0-1, lines foul on a play, and the count quickly 0-2 on the Princeton catcher. A very animated guy and a guy who can generate some bat speed, Tim Leahy.
Stetson, a very dangerous 4 seed. I think everyone realized that as well.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and an outstanding top of the 6th for Lavelle Spigner as he gets Princeton 3 up, 3 down. No runs, hits, or errors. Nobody left on base. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Auburn 4, Princeton 1. Auburn baseball continues in a moment. We're set to move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Gorgeous night as nightfall has reached Auburn, Alabama. Here's Sanford Stadium, Hitchcock Field at Plainsman Park. Capacity crowd, obviously, mostly for the Auburn team, although there is a sizable Clemson contingent. And Ohio State and Princeton are represented. Ohio State had a very vocal group here as they came from behind to beat Clemson in the opening game.
Yeah, it's good. 2-3 rows worth of Princeton fans clustered together. I'm sure there's some others scattered about, but good number of Princeton fans. And also want to say hello to folks listening to us on the internet tonight, of course, on auburntigers.com across the globe. tonight, and we welcome along those fans of the Princeton Tigers who are listening to us this evening. Welcome along, and tell you what, fans of the Princeton Tigers who are listening to us tonight on the internet and here at the ballpark should be very proud of this ball club they have. They have fought tooth and nail and are right in this thing as we head down the stretch.
7, 8, and 9 for the Auburn Tigers. As we go to the bottom of the sixth, Scott Shade steps in to lead it off, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Well, Auburn fans and everybody connected with this regional were prepared for Quillian, and he has delivered. There's a squibber up the first baseline. Eldridge picks it up, steps on the bag for out number 1, so Shade is down quickly. We mentioned both pitchers are over 80 pitches coming to the sixth inning. You wonder how long Quillian can go, but he gets Shade in 2 pitches there. As in the top of the inning, Lavelle Spigner made quick work of Princeton, so both pitchers may be allowed to move along here, depending on how Quillian does here in the bottom of the sixth. Derek Sane steps in 1 for 1 at a single and has walked. Takes a slow curve for a strike, and the count quickly 0-1 on the Auburn designated hitter.
First time that Quillian has thrown that pitch for a strike, his best curveball of the night.
0-1, fouled back to the screen, and quickly 0-2 the count on Derek Sane. They play Sane to pull, and they play him very deep in the outfield, a little surprisingly deep. Wind, and the pitch bounces up. Did it hit him?
I think Sane thought it hit him.
Sane says it hit him, and it did. It bounced up and got him on the shin as it bounced back to the catcher.
Yeah.
Quillian has had a little bit of control difficulty, mainly with that slow curveball as he threw one to the screen for a wild pitch an inning ago, and that one went about 58 feet. It just squirted right into the shin of Derek Sane. He moved down to first with 1 out.
And he's been on base all 3 times tonight, so good night for the freshman batting as DH.
Chuck Geralman steps in, sac fly and an RBI in the second, and pops the seconds. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI. First pitch, called a strike on the outside corner, and the count 0-1 on the Auburn shortstop. He'll play Geralman straight away, Chuck, with pretty good alley power. Stretch throw to first, Sane back standing.
Well, we've seen what he can do if he ever turns on one, too. He can hit it a country mile if he ever gets around on it.
Geralman, of course, had that huge home run at Stark. Really helped Auburn win a big road series. The 0-1 misses outside. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Chuck has fought through a multitude of injuries this year. Still a little slow with a hamstring and a high ankle sprain, something 2 weeks ago. He has not missed a game due to injury. Stretch, pitch right over his head. Back to the screen, and Sane is down to second. Thought for a minute that either hit the helmet or the bat, but I guess it just glanced off Leahy's glove. It'll be another wild pitch.
Chuck's like, oh, man.
That was
not a curveball.
That was not the breaking pitch. That was the fastball, and it came right over Geralman's head. So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Auburn. As Geralman steps back in, and Quillian maybe getting a little tired here. Pitch fouled back to the screen. Count evens 2-2. 4-1, Auburn leads. Tigers with 2 in the second, 2 in the fifth. Princeton got their run in the fifth as well.
No activity right now in the Princeton bullpen, which I find a little surprising. I don't see anyone throwing down there.
Quillian with the stretch. Pitch. Fly ball right field. Pretty well hit. Back goes Salini. He'll make the play, tagging up and moving over to third as the throw comes in. Is the base runner Derek Sane, and he is in standing. The throw came down the line toward home just a little bit. So Auburn with a runner at third now and 2 out. We'll go back to the top of the order. John Gamble has had problems tonight.
Welcome back to Knoxville with the voice of the Tigers, Andy Bertram. I'm Brad Law, and this is you ever seen anything like what we are seeing?
I've never seen a game start in the rain shower that this game, we believe, is about to begin in. Now, listen, this is an AstroTurf, an artificial surface. The only area that is exposed to the elements that matters is the mound. And it is right now covered.
Still covered
here in Knoxville. But it is pouring here.
Yeah.
in Knoxville, Tennessee.
If you're watching on the Auburn Tigers YouTube channel, we've still got a couple of minutes before we have to flip the camera around. You can see this is as hard as it's rained all night.
Yeah.
And
It's pouring
this
right now.
This game is scheduled to begin in 3 minutes, and they have not taken the cover off the mound.
I believe they're about to do that right now.
Yeah.
I think they're about to do that. Tennessee comes out of its dugout, and they're about to go out on defense. Before we give you the starters again, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Auburn Sports Network. Right now, they're taking the tarp off of the mound, and Liam Doyle, who is among the very best, if not the best starter in the Southeastern Conference, is out there and about to throw some warm-up pitches with puddles all around the mound. They're going to have to get some of this water dispersed from the edge of the mound, the artificial surface that leads to the turf mound, and Doyle is about to throw his first pitches from the game mound of the night in a driving rain.
Yeah, just a driving rain. Let's tell you more about Liam Doyle. Let's tell you about the Tennessee defense. Chris Rembert and Kate Ballou have grabbed bats. They are getting ready to go, and it does look like here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be ready for baseball here on the Auburn Sports Network.
Exclusive play-by-play coverage of Auburn baseball is brought to you by Alabama Power, proud supporter of the Auburn Tigers. Alabama Power, power for a better Alabama. And by Cook's Pest Control, keeping your home and business safe from pests and termites since 1928.
Tennessee has taken the field defensively behind Liam Doyle. Let's set that defense. Dalton Bargo is in left field. Hunter Inslee is in center. Reese Chapman is the right fielder. Along the infield, it's Manny Marin at third, Gavin Keelan at short. Dean Curley plays second base. He started some games at third. He's at second tonight. And Andrew Fisher is the first baseman. Cannon Peebles does the catching. He's on a home run tear of late. And Liam Doyle is the pitcher for Tennessee. Doyle, a transfer from Ole Miss. Tigers saw him a year ago at Plainsman Park, but he's a vastly different pitcher since then. A junior lefty out of Derry, New Hampshire, 6'2", 220 pounds. Doyle this year has been a magnificent 7-1 in 11 starts, 64 and 2/3 innings pitched, 32 hits, 16 earned runs. He has walked 20 and struck out 110, nearly 2 strikeouts per inning. He has hit 7 batters, given up 2 wild pitches. Teams are batting just 144 against Liam Doyle, 7-1 with a 2.23 earned run average. Let's get it going tonight on Rocky Top in the rain, and we turn it over to the voice of the Tigers, Andy Burcham.
And the first pitch weather forecast brought to you, of course, by our good friends at, do I have that one?
I think you have that one.
I don't know. We'll
Okay.
check.
Hey, Blue Moon.
Blue Moon, yeah. Coriander, delicious orange peel and coriander.
Only had 7 hours to get it to you, didn't I?
Oh, man.
Rain is the weather right now, friends. As Chris Rembert steps into the batter's box, he is Auburn's DH tonight, 62 degrees. A little bit of wind coming in from right field. First pitch to Rembert, a fastball that misses high. The umpires tonight, Ben Levin, Javero January, John Brammer, and Richard Riley. Auburn, the away grays, top sand bottoms, blue ball caps with the orange AU across the front. The 1-0 pitch to Rembert. There's a strike. Let's give you the entire read for Blue Moon. Everything becomes brighter every sip of their Belgian-style wheat ale crafted with Valencia orange peel and coriander. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Rembert. Wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 96. Not unusual to see this guy at 98 with his fastball. A ball and 2 strikes, and Rembert is going to get some more grip on the bat. Rembert, Ballou, and Irish for Auburn. Doyle 7-1, a 2.23 earned run average, a nation-leading 110 strikeouts. He's averaging 15.31 strikeouts per 9 innings. And he's ahead of Rembert 1-2. The pitch, up and out. 98. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the fastball. Right side of the scoreboard, just above the pitch clock.
Thank you very
much.
much.
And they leave the 98 up there for everyone to see. Now the 2-2. Ball 3 high.
Rembert, the best on-base percentage, second base batting average in league play among the Auburn hitters. He's been really disciplined, especially for a freshman at the plate.
Doyle works off the left side of the rubber. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. It struck him out.
Might have chased ball 4 up and away, but with 2 strikes, 3-2. Took a swing at it, and that's what Doyle does. Again, averaging nearly 2 strikeouts an inning. Gabe Gross.
4-pitch guy. Fastball, slider, splitter, and a cutter.
Gabe Gross immediately out of the dugout to talk to the home plate umpire, Ben Levin, about something he's seeing from Tennessee. I'm not sure what that was about.
Here is Cade Ballou. Lefty on lefty here. First pitch to Ballou. High with the fastball.
Lefties have not done very much at all against Doyle. Lefties hitting .083 this season. Right-handers just .198.
A ball and no strikes to Ballou. The wind and the pitch. Up and in. Boy, he almost leaned into one right at the chin. 2 balls and no strikes. And it's been nothing but fastballs from Doyle to the first 2 hitters. He struck out Rembert on a 3-2 pitch.
I wonder how much the rain affects the grip and enables you to put any kind of spin on it.
2-0. Ball 3 inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Ballou.
How much does the rain impact a catcher's ability to throw to second? How much does it impact the guy's ability to get going on the base paths? A lot of questions.
3 balls and no strikes to count to Ballou. The pitch, and he walked him on 4 pitches. And how long does it take for Auburn to start the running game?
Yeah, Butch Thompson said yesterday that Auburn needs to maybe run a little more this weekend than it has been running in league play.
And it brings Zach Irish to the plate, hitting .329 with 6 homers. That's incorrect. It's an incorrect stat. Let me give you his true numbers.
While you find that, I'll tell you Tennessee's
11 homers and 37 runs batted in. With Ballou at first, the pitch upstairs. That was the first off-speed pitch we've seen.
He's missed with 5 in a row. Teams have been successful 43 of 53 times against Tennessee stealing in league play.
Ballou at first with a 1-out walk. A ball and no strikes to Irish. Here's the pitch. Missed inside, 2-0. That's 6 in a row outside the strike zone. And remember, he ran it to 3-2 against Rembert.
I'll tell you, the Auburn dugout is as fired up to start a game as we've seen them home or road this year.
2-0 to Irish. Strike caught on the inside corner.
Credit Peebles. He brought that one back in on the inside corner.
Took something off of that for 93 mile an hour. Ballou at first. 1 out. We're in the top of the first. Stretch in the pitch. Swing, drive, left center field. Bargo going back. He looks up. That is off the wall. Ballou is on his way to third. He's going to score. Here comes Ballou. 1-0 Auburn.
Oh, did they?
And Irish, did he hit it out of the park? It's a home run. It's a home run.
They will absolutely review it, but as it stands, Andy, it's 2-0 Tigers instead of 1. And Irish slipped and fell down. It was an easy double, but he slipped and fell down about a quarter of the way to second and had to go back to first before it was ruled a home run.
A 2-run homer to left. He went the opposite way. His 12th home run of the year. And Auburn jumps out to a 2-0 lead.
And there is no review. There is no question from the Tennessee dugout. They got a better look at it than we did.
2-0 Auburn. Here's the pitch to McMurray. It misses outside. A 1-out walk to Ballou and a 2-run homer to left by Irish. The pitch. Strike call to McMurray, a ball and a strike to Cooper.
That is the 5th home run Doyle has surrendered in conference play. He had given up 4 earned runs over his last 4 conference starts.
McMurray takes a strike on the inside corner at 86. A ball and 2 strikes to Cooper. 2-0 Tigers on top. We're in the top of the first in a driving storm here in Knoxville. Pitch on the way. McMurray got a fastball and he fouled it straight back.
We've been seeing some camera flashes off in the distance.
Is that what they are?
Sure.
Okay.
Here in the last 15 minutes.
2-0 Auburn on top. 1 out. We're in the top of the first. Wind and the pitch. McMurray takes strike 3. 2 down. Second strikeout for Doyle.
Now lefty's hitting under 100 against him, but it was Irish who hit a 2-run homer to give the Tigers a lead here in this one.
And here is Eric Guevara, the Auburn third baseman, sophomore, hitting .282. Guevara with 3 home runs on the season and 14 runs batted in. He bats with 2 outs and nobody on for Auburn. Open stance from the right side. Doyle winds and fires, and Guevara takes a strike. Lefty Doyle, the wind and the pitch to Guevara. Swing, and he sluices the bat. It goes over the top of the Auburn dugout, off of the netting, and into the dugout.
This is crazy. This is one of the most extraordinary things. And here comes Butch Thompson coming out to talk to the home plate umpire just a bit. This is a torrential rain that they have played in. I mean, it's been raining this way for 30 minutes.
No balls and 2 strikes, the count to Guevara. Butch has made a lot of friends here tonight so far.
Well, once the game starts,
it's under the umpires.
Yeah. Before the game, the home team has the bulk of the say. Once the game starts, it's up to the umpires what to continue to play in.
0-2 the count to Guevara. 2-0 Auburn on top. 2 outs in the first. The pitch. And Eric takes it low and inside. We saw Doyle hit 98 in the at-bat to Ballou, but he walked him on 4 pitches. And then on a 2-1 pitch, Irish headed out of here to left. A strikeout to McMurray. And now a ball and 2 strikes to Guevara. Here's the wind and the pitch. And he got a piece of it, pops it up right side of the infield. First baseman Fisher is out, makes the catch. Looking up with raindrops falling in his eyes, and he makes the catch, and the inning's over. 2 runs on a hit, no errors, and no one left. We go to the bottom of the first. Auburn 2. Tennessee comes to the plate, and this is the Auburn Sports Network.
Don't stop planning for your future. Don't stop investing in your kids' education. Don't stop dreaming of that new home. And don't stop growing your business. Whatever you're passionate or dreaming about, don't stop. Because when you have a bank you can trust, you have the confidence to take on tomorrow. Speak with a Trustmark associate today for advice on achieving your goals. Trustmark. People you trust. Advice that works. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Southeastern Conference. It's the land of legends, the places, the faces, and moments.
And he's going for it. It's a football.
We've seen the confetti fall again and again. We're not done. It's time for the next generation to make their mark and go from 14 deep to 16 strong. It's a whole new ball game in the SEC, and it just means more.
Welcome back to Knoxville, where the bottom of the first is going to be a minute. Auburn leads 2-0 after the top of the first inning, but there is very clearly lightning in the area. And the rain has been falling very hard for probably 45 minutes. They played the top of the first. At that point, once the game starts, it is the umpire's discretion whether or not to continue the game. And the umpires have made the decision not to continue this game, Andy. The mound is covered up again, and the teams have been taken off the field.
Auburn was out getting ready to go to defense in the bottom of the first, and the umpires called out the grounds crew here in Knoxville, and they have covered the mound. Both head coaches have talked with the umpiring crews, and we are in another weather delay. We have not heard an announcement at this point, but we are back in a weather delay here in Knoxville. The first half inning played, a strikeout by Rembert on a 3-2 pitch. Cade Ballou walked on 4 pitches. And on a 2-1 pitch, Ike Irish hit a 2-run homer here to left. A strikeout to McMurray, a pop out to Guevara. The first inning came to a close with Auburn leading 2-0. As Auburn's defense was going to the field, Brad.
Yep.
The umpires got together and quickly they covered the mound, and that's the only non-artificial surface at this ballpark as the rain continues to fall here in Knoxville.
So we will move back into our second weather delay of the ball game with Auburn leading 2-0 going to the bottom of the first. If you go to our YouTube feed, the Auburn Tigers YouTube channel, you can see the rain falling and monitor the field from there. In the meantime, we'll send you back to more bonus content. We'll finish out that 2003 regional game against Princeton. We've got about 35 minutes left in that. And then we'll come back, give you an update, and go from there. So
we have told you what we know at this moment.
That's right. That's every bit that we know at the moment. We do thank you for tuning in tonight. And then now we take you back to more of the 2003 Auburn regional game against Princeton. Weather delay programming here on the Auburn Sports Network.
Over 300 almost all season long. Bluffs a bunt, takes a pitch low inside, ball 1. William was in the mid-80s coming into this inning, so he's got to be pushing 100 pitches now. From the stretch with the runner at third. Pitch, bounce towards second. Second baseman gloves it on a Sunday hop and throws to first for out number 3. So Auburn threatens, but does not score. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. We played 6. It's Auburn 4, Princeton 1. This is the Auburn Network. Through 6 innings, Princeton with 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Auburn 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Lavelle Spigner, 95 pitches through 6 innings, has given up only an unearned run as both pitchers with 95 pitches through 6 innings. Here to take you the rest of the way is Rod Brampton.
All right, thanks, Paul. And bottom 3 in the Princeton order here in the top half of the 7th inning. 96th pitch of the game for Spigner is a fastball, and this is high. I'd be very surprised if Auburn did not have some activity in the bullpen. Of course, we are blocked from view of that bullpen out in left field, the 1-0, a little bit low, 2-0. The count to Adam Balcom, who's doubled and flied out to left. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Auburn, 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors for Princeton. There's a strike down the middle, 2-1 now to count.
Well, this will be pitch number 99. You got to feel like Spigner's on a fairly short leash here with a 3-run lead and a fresh bullpen.
2-1 swing and a miss by Balcom. Tried to reach down and missed it. 2-2 now to count.
On the other end, he's retired 4 in a row and went 3 up, 3 down, an inning to go on 9 pitches. So
the 2-2 pitch from Spigner. Bouncer back up the middle. That will make it into center field for the leadoff single. 2 for 3 night for Adam Balcom. And that'll bring up Mike Chernoff, who has struck out and walked.
Number 18.
And it puts the tying run on deck for Princeton here in the top half of the 7th. 6th hit of the night for the Tigers of Princeton. Chernoff, the right-handed hitter, steps in. Stretch by Spigner and pitch. Bouncer right side. Going to be a tough play for Ammonite. Backhands it. Only play to Spigner at first, who steps on the bag, stabs it with his left foot for the outs. Lavelle thought he was closer to the bag when he received the throw, and he turned around, and he was still a couple of feet away.
That was a very, very difficult play with a fast man. And sure enough, because it was hit so slowly with those two big loops in it, actually Ammonite had to come in a couple of steps on the grass, turn around and throw behind him, if you will, to a pitcher covering. So you couldn't really use the timing play that you would normally use there. And Lavelle Spiegner trying to make a catch on a very good throw and then stab at the bag, and it was a close play.
One out, runner at second. Eric Fitzgerald, the batter, bounces this one back up the middle. Hewlett is right there. Fields the high hop to first, two gone, and over to third goes Balcom. Hewlett had broken towards the bag at second, then back moving to his normal position, and he was still moving when the ball was hit, so he had to right back to his right, back towards the bag at second to make the play.
And I'll tell you, a week of sunshine has made this infield bounce a lot higher. That high chopper, along with Fitzgerald's speed, made that a very close play.
Runner at third, top of the order, Steve Young. First pitch high with a fastball, 1-0. Young has grounded out twice and popped out. He's 0 for 3 on the night. Spiner off the stretch. 1-0 pitch to the plate. On the outside corner, strike one. Keep you up to date on what could be the upset of the first round of the NCAA Regional. Stetson has added a run at the top of the eighth, still batting, and they lead Georgia Tech now 5-2 in Atlanta. That's the 4 seed there, leading to 1. There's a breaking ball blocked by Huddleston. Good job by Bobby. And the count is 2-1 now to Young.
Surprised they don't ask the third base umpire for help as Young checked the swing on a pitch in the dirt. Here goes the ball.
2-1 pitch to Young. Bouncer back out towards second. Backhanded stop by Hewlett. Loops it over to first. Sitting over.
Oh, what a beautiful play by Tuck Hewlett to get the speedy Steve Young and save a run. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left.
We go to the bottom of the seventh. 4-1, Auburn leading Princeton. And Auburn baseball continues in a moment. Time for a Singular Wireless call to the bullpen. Sign up with Singular and get 5,300 minutes for just $29.99 a month, plus nationwide long distance is included. Check out the deals at your local Singular Wireless store. The Princeton Tigers have gone to their bullpen, and they go to number 35, David Bowl, who's 4-2 on the year, 3.74 earned run average, making his 11th appearance, just his second out of the bullpen. 55 and a third innings pitched, 67 hits, 29 runs, 23 of them earned. He's walked 13 and struck out 43. Opponents are hitting .294 against David Bowl, who is a right-hander, senior out of Redwood City, California, 6'2", 185 pounds, the new pitcher for the Princeton Tigers. You can close the book on Ryan Quillian, a solid outing, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. He walked 2 and struck out 1. And Bowl face Javon Moran, Tug Hewlett, Bobby Huddleston here in the bottom of the seventh, with Auburn leading 4-1. Pitch up and in to Moran, ball 1. Moran with his 18th double of the year his last time up. The only extra base hit for Auburn tonight. 1-0, ground ball back out towards the middle. Backhanded stop by the second baseman. Throw to first, safe. Boy, that nice play by a second baseman in this ball game. Steve Young made it very, very close at first on the speedy Javon Moran.
I thought he had no chance running away towards center field. Fielded that ball on the ground. Didn't get a good hop to throw with and made an excellent throw to first. And Moran just beat it out for a base hit. You got to think Moran's running here. Excellent move by Scott Bradley, I think, going to Bowl, as really he didn't want the meat of the Auburn order to get another look at Quillian. Quillian had 100 pitches. Had really given him everything he could hope for tonight.
Outstanding outing, solid outing, kept this Princeton team in the ball game. They're still in it, only down by 3. But Auburn an opportunity with the leadoff man on here at the bottom of the seventh. Bowl with the pitch to Hewlett, high with a fastball, 1-0.
Tug is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the fifth, flied to left earlier, and drew a base on ball.
Stretch. There goes Moran. Pitch is a ball. Throw down. Not in time. Still a note for Moran. His 24th stolen base of the year as the crowd gets to a new high level of noise here. on that stolen base. 2-0 the count to Todd Hewlett. Moran now down at second. Here's the stretch by Bowl and the 2-0 pitch. Hewlett shows bunt, takes it for strike one. Four to 1, Auburn on top. They've out hit Princeton 8-6. 2-1. Hewlett loops it into left. This could be trouble. Nope, the left fielder, Balcom, is there to make the catch.
I'll tell you, Balcom has played very well out there. He played the double by Moran a couple of innings ago very well off the wall and made it close. That could have been real trouble, looping away from him toward the line, and he made that look like an easy play.
And in position pretty good out there in left field. Now, one out, Bobby Huddleston at the plate. Moran still down at second base.
Didn't startle you there with my manipulation of the soundboard there a moment ago.
No, not at all. You didn't scare me at all. Here's a stretch by Bowl. Pitch to Huddleston. Fastball high, ball one.
Bobby has been just missing 2 foul outs down the right field line. Very uncharacteristic of him. And a fairly long fly to center field. He's 0 for 3.
1-0. Swing and a fly ball into right. That should be out number 2. Cellini over near the line. Makes the catch. Moran has to stay at second. They're 2 gone, and Auburn has really struggled tonight. Moving runners over. Getting some clutch base hits, but they still lead 4-1.
Very unusual for Hewlett not to be able to move a runner to third, and then extremely unusual for Bobby Huddleston to have 3 foul outs on the right side.
Yeah, Princeton has done a good job of turning Bobby Huddleston into a non-factor tonight. Here's Carl Ammonite, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Chance to drive in another run here. This ball out away. Ammonite popped out to first in the second, singled in the fourth. Sacrifice fly, scored a run in the fifth. Base hit scores another one here, the 1-0. The Auburn first baseman. Strike of the outside corner.
This would be a big run if Auburn could get it in. Tigers leading by 3. You like to have it to get 4 or 5, so at least it takes a bases loaded pop to tie you.
1-1 off-speed pitch just stayed outside. 2 balls and a strike. 4-1, Auburn on top of Princeton. We're 2 outs at the bottom of the 7th. 2-1. Outside, ball 3. 3-1 now the count to Ammonite. Another left-handed hitter, and Clay Thomas waiting on deck. No wind to speak of right now. The flags are still out in right center field. 3-1 to Carl. Breaking ball and a dandy on the inside corner for strike 2. Takes a lot of confidence to throw that pitch on 3-1 to Ammonite. He got it to break in on the inside corner. So a full count now. And the pitch from Bold, Ammonite. Just off the end of the bat foul, rolling towards the Auburn dugout. Ammonite fooled by the pitch, but got a piece of the bat on it to stay alive.
Bold, a senior, veteran of 3 NCAA teams at Princeton, and was a former California high school state championship quarterback.
3-2 pitch. Curveball ripped down the line and right. If it's fair, it's trouble. It's a foul ball.
They were playing him right on the line. Cellini only about 5 steps off the line.
Not a lot of foul ground down there, and it just hooked foul.
We play here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Stephen Register is up and throwing in the Auburn bullpen, as you would expect in a 3-run game right now.
Full count pitch again due to Ammonites. Ball off the stretch. And the pitch. High and away, ball 4. And runners are at first and second with 2 outs now for the freshman Cleet Thomas, who's 2 for 3 on the night.
Very good at bat for Ammonite. After he fell behind in the count, working the base on balls against the senior right-hander.
Four to 1, Auburn leading, looking for some more insurance. And a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Thomas is a strike.
Thomas has hit the ball well all 3 times. Has 2 singles and a fly to left field. scored a run.
Ball off the stretch. 0-1 Thomas. Just missed the outside corner. Bull was wondering, how did that miss? And it just did. It was very close. 1 ball on the strike. Moran at second. Ammonite at first. Pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss at the curve, and Thomas behind 1-2.
That's what that curve does to you. Looks like the fastball, and once Thomas committed, he realized he was way out front. The ball came in right under his hand.
Stretch by Bowl. The 1-2 to Thomas. Another breaking ball. This one fouled into the backstop. The count remains 1-2.
Good job by Thomas that time. He wasn't trying to drive it out of the park. As a result, he stayed back, was able to spoil a pitch that was pretty close.
2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Auburn on top, 4-1. Runners at first and second. The 1-2. Just missed the corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For the winner of this game, they'll get to face Ohio State tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. That's the first pitch. That's the scheduled time. Don't be surprised if it's a little bit later than that, with the game preceding at 11:30. 2-2 to Thomas. Line foul. Look out. Oh! And somebody was hit down on the concourse, and they'll immediately get medical attention down there.
That one got into the crowd very, very quickly, right over the lower seats, just past the screen, and it nailed somebody right on the concourse. They're getting medical attention right now. We hope there's nothing serious there.
2-2 to Thomas. Curveball, swing and a miss, but it gets past the catcher, Leahy, all the way to the backstop, and Thomas will go down to first, and everyone else will advance.
My guess is that'll be a pass ball, Rod. It didn't appear to be in the dirt, but it was a low inside curveball and just came off the mid of Leahy and trickled on back to the screen.
So the bases now are loaded for Scott Shade.
Going to call it a wild pitch instead of a pass ball. So again, Auburn with a bases loaded situation. The Tigers have really had trouble with runners in scoring position tonight, despite their 3-run lead.
Pitch on the way. Strike to Shade. It's 0-1.
Scott Shade's been solid throughout his career in clutch situations. You know he'd like to break this one open.
There's a foul tip by Shade on the 0-1, and the count's 0-2 now.
It's a good old-fashioned fastball that time. Attendance tonight, 4209. Big crowd on hand.
0-2. Bouncer to third. And as the third baseman Miller to first in time. Tigers lead the bases loaded. No runs on a hit. No errors, and 3 left on base. Princeton hanging in there. 4-1, Auburn on top. This is the Auburn Network. 8th inning defensive replacement for Auburn. Josh Todd into the game to play for Carl Ammonite. So now it's Todd at first, Hewlett at second, Geralman at short, Scott Shade at third base. 4-1 Auburn on top here as we go to the top of the 8th.
Big inning this time for Lavelle Spigner with 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup coming up. Stephen Register's ready in the bullpen. You know Lavelle would love to get a complete game here. He possibly could. Auburn has been unable to break it open. They've left 9 on through 7 innings, including leaving the bases loaded twice.
B.J. Zemansky, John Miller, and Ryan Eldridge. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Princeton here in the top half of the 8th inning. Spigner back to work in the pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. Zemansky 2 for 3 on the night. Struck out his first time up, but has singled twice since that time. And the 0-1. Low ball 1. Zemansky, a left-handed hitter. Little bit of pop, only 2 home runs on the year. 1-1 bunt attempt. He went after it, missed it. 1-2 now the count. Action begins tomorrow morning at 11:30 with the losers bracket game. Things stand the way they are now. Will feature Clemson and Princeton, the 2 and 4 seeds. 1-2 pitch. Luke foul out of play to the left. Then Auburn would play Ohio State if the Tigers can hold on here. 3 o'clock first pitch. If things run according to schedule, we'd be on the air at 2:45 tomorrow afternoon. Here's the 1-2. Fouled out of play to the left again.
Security personnel over with the fan that was hit by the line drive. The medical personnel, I think, went perhaps to get a stretcher. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a ground ball out to short. Geralman right there. Oh, to first. 1 out. As many people as are here wandering up and down the concourse. That is just an accident waiting to happen, and unfortunately, there's just not much you can do. It's hard to force 4,200 plus people to just constantly keep their eye on the field, but if you're down beyond the netting, you need to do it as much as possible.
Just sent a bag of ice up from the Auburn dugout. So
pitch.
That's encouraging news.
Yep, fouled back into the screen by John Miller. Just as so many kids are running out of the ballpark, I'm not sure if that got an adult or a child, but either way. 0-1. Fly ball to right. Pretty well hit. Thomas back near the wall at the track. He's got it. No, he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball, and into second base will go Miller. He was right there and failed to make the play. A long run by Thomas, and he just dropped the ball at the track. That'll be Thomas's second error of the night. And keeps Princeton alive here. Boy, mistakes like that have a way of coming back and biting you. As Steve Renfro makes his way out of the Auburn dugout, and that may be it for Lavelle Spigner.
Stephen Register has been up in the bullpen for a couple of innings, so you know he's ready. And boy, you hate for Lavelle to have to come out on a play like that. The ball was sharply hit, but the difficult part of the play was made, it appeared, and just got away from Cleet Thomas, and that's going to be it for Lavelle Spigner.
Oh, what an outing, though, for Spigner. One unearned run on the night. As he heads to the Auburn dugout, the new pitcher for the Tigers of Auburn will be Stephen Register on the Singular Wireless call to the bullpen as Auburn baseball continues in a moment.
Stephen Register comes on, making appearance number 32. 3-2 record and 15 saves. Top closer in the SEC. He's pitched 48 innings, given up just 39 hits. He's struck out 53, walked only 6. Opponents hitting 219 against the Auburn closer, Stephen Register, coming on with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Great outing for Lavelle Spigner.
I'll give you his incomplete line here in just a moment. First pitch is a strike from Register to Ryan Eldridge.
With Spigner 7 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. He could be charged with another unearned run if the runner at second scores.
0-1 to Eldridge. Make it 0-2. Swing and a miss.
And 114 pitches, 6 strikeouts, a season high for Spigner, and 1 base on balls. Outstanding performance by the senior.
Yep. Gave Auburn exactly what they expected and needed of him tonight. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. 2 gone in the inning.
High heat from the Columbus, Georgia native.
Yep. And a report on the fan who was hit. It appeared to be a female from what we could see, an adult female. She was conscious, but taken out on a stretcher for precautionary measures, obviously. So if we find out anything else, we'll let you know. Strike to Andrew Cellini, who's 0 for 3 on the night. (0-1) on the way. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Spigner has done nothing but throw strikes here in the top of the 8th. Register. Stretch. And pitch. Looping liner down the line and left. That's a base hit, and a run's going to score. And it's 4-2. Gamble over. Gets it back to the infield. Princeton cuts it to a 2-run game.
Well, give credit to Cellini getting the bat out there, but he checked his swing, and the ball hit the bat. It was a fastball. It hit the bat so hard, it just went right over the third baseman, Scott Shade's head, into right field, about 110-foot single down the left field line. It's a 4-2 game now, and everybody who comes up represents a tying run. This guy, the only real power threat in the Princeton lineup, Leahy with 11 home runs, and he has hit the ball hard tonight, 2 for 3, both singles and both line shots.
Selaney at first. Pitch on the way from Spigner. Misses outside and low. Ball 1.
Register threw 6 straight strikes before that pitch.
Stretch by Register. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Swung through the fastball. A ball and a strike to the catcher, Tim Leahy. Selaney leads from first. The 1-1 on the way. Down the middle, strike 2.
Leahy showed himself early to be a good power hitter, but Auburn not thinking he can get around on Register. They're playing way around in right center field with Moran.
The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. No, he went around. And Leahy argues the call and storms back to the Princeton dugout. 1 run in the inning, though. An unearned run for the Tigers of Princeton. 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 Auburn. This is the Auburn Network. Well, you figured Princeton would go to them if they could keep it close or have the lead, and they've done it on this singular wireless call of the bullpen. They have gone to their closer, Thomas Paul.
And walked only 23, so just judging by the stats, Rod, this guy, it's like Steven Register. He goes high and higher.
Well, and this guy's projected. Sane pops up the first pitch, foul towards the left side and into the seats. He is projected as a possible first-round pick next month.
Well, it's acknowledged that he will be turning pro, although he's only a junior in eligibility, but he flat out said in the press conference yesterday that he plans to turn pro as soon as Princeton season ends.
0-1 strike on the inside corner to Sane.
Or at least as soon as the draft is up.
0-2 the count now to Sane, who's reached base every time he's been on there tonight. Single, a walk, and hit by a pitch. 0-2 low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4-2 our score. Auburn leading Princeton.
Tigers would like to answer the run Princeton got here in the top of the 8th inning.
1-2, swing and a miss. 1 out here in the 8th. Throw down to first as that one got down in the dirt. Complete the strikeout. They move to the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta. Georgia Tech making it interesting. They scored 2 in the 8th, but Stetson still leading by a score of 5-4.
Obviously, the thinking by Princeton coach Scott Bradley is get a few pitches out of Pauly, and he'll probably start tomorrow.
Geralman fouls the pitch back on 1.
But he wants to keep his team within 2 and give them striking distance in the top of the 9th inning.
The wide and 0-1 from Pauly. Outside, a ball and a strike.
And of course, Coach Bradley knows anytime anybody reaches base, you got a puncher's chance when it's a 2-run game.
1 ball, 1 strike. Right down the middle with the heater. 1-2.
And this guy looks like Steven Register.
He really does, doesn't he?
Very efficient motion, and the ball really pops in there.
1-2 on the way. Just low with a fastball, 2-2.
Earlier, they played Geralman deep into pull. They don't think he can pull Pauly. They play him around toward the right side.
2-2 on the way. Flied out of play to the right. Late on that one. Even count on Geralman, 2-2. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Auburn leading Princeton by a score of 4-2. Geralman takes the 2-2 in the dirt, and he's working count full now. Top of the Auburn order waiting.
Geralman 0 for 2, but had a big sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning that helped Auburn capitalize on really their first opportunity of the night.
3-2 to the Auburn shortstop. Foul back. Into the screen, and he remains alive, 3-2.
And if you're Clemson and to a lesser degree Ohio State, you're pulling for Auburn to work these counts on Pauly.
The 3-2 on the way. Low ball 4, and a good at bat by Geralman. Worked the 1-out walk, and he's on base with Sean Gamble.
Well, Sean has got to be happy he's not seeing the starter, Quillian. He is 0 for 4. basically three short fly balls and a bouncer to second. So Sean will be happy to see another type of pitcher out there anyway.
Geronimo at first. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, Auburn would love to get one more run. That thing back out to a 3-run lead. Gamble showed bunt, popped it back foul, bunted it back foul, and counts 0-1.
Miller back on his heel. He was playing actually a little behind the bag at third. Of course, Gamble with excellent speed if he could deaden that ball down the third base line.
I'll be surprised if they kept the bunt on here. Gamble doesn't reach. They've got a runner in scoring position for Moran. And that's what they're going to do. Right back to Pauly. Fields, throws, and out.
Boy, that was
Scott
close.
Graham called him out at first. Gamble, I think, felt he was safe. And judging from just the body language of first base coach Chris Finwood, I think he thought he was safe as well. But he gets the runner down to second base. Pauly almost took too long to throw to first.
And give Eldridge a lot of credit. The reason Gamble thought he was safe was because that throw skipped in the dirt right in front of the mid. It short hopped Eldridge. Any bobble and Gamble would have been safe, and they call him out now on a very clean play by Eldridge.
Base hit now scores a run. First pitch to Moran is ball low. Pauly's 1-0. Bouncer back up the middle. Shortstop there. Got to hurry the throw to first, and he throws it over everybody's head. Here comes Geronimo. He will score. Down to second is Moran, and it's 5-2 Tigers of Auburn.
No RBI on the error on the shortstop as Chernoff came in, got a convenient hop and just put too much mustard on it. It was a high hop. He had to hurry just a little bit, but he had time to get Moran with an accurate throw, and he just threw it back toward home plate very, very high. Eldridge had no chance to save him on that.
Looks like it's an error all the way. No hit and an error. Down to second is Moran. Here, Tug Hewlett takes a strike.
Yeah, no hit posted that time. It was an error and no RBI.
5-2. Auburn gets the run back. And a swing and a miss by Hewlett. And he's in the hole 0-2. Tug 1 for 3 on the night with an RBI and a run scored. Stretch by Pauly. And he 0-2 to Hewlett. Check swing and foul. He was just battling for his life on that one. Trying to stay alive.
Pauly took about 15 miles an hour off his fastball that time. Hewlett was way out in front on a curveball that broke right in at his ankles, and he just stabbed at that and got the end of the bat on it, drove it into the ground.
Stretch by Pauly, and again the 0-2 to Hewlett. Lined into left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Moran around third. The throw from Balkum in left is a good one, and Moran is out. It was in the shallow left field, and Balkum had him played there. As Tug Hewlett got the base hit. Auburn trying to force the issue there, and Balkum just made a great throw to the plate. 7-2 on the putout at home as Tug Hewlett gets his second base hit of the night. But Auburn scores a run on one hit. One, Princeton error. One man left. Through 8, Auburn 5, Princeton 2, and Auburn baseball continues in a moment. Well, let's check the scoreboard before we go to the top of the ninth. In the upset of the day, by far, number 4 seed Stetson has beaten Georgia Tech by a final of 5-4 in Atlanta, and that sets up a winner's bracket matchup between South Carolina and Stetson, and a loser's bracket matchup between Georgia Tech and East Carolina. Surprise, surprise. 5-2, we go to the ninth. First pitch fouled back by Adam Balkum, who made a terrific throw from left to peg Javon Moran at the plate to end the bottom half of the 8th inning.
You had to pick an MVP for Princeton tonight. You'd have to consider Balkum. He's played flawlessly in left field.
And he has 2 base hits. 0-1 is high, ball 1. Final line on Lavelle Spigner, by the way, 7 in the 3rd inning, 6 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. The 1-1 pitch fouled into the backstop, and the count is 1-2.
Balkum, the only extra base hit for Princeton this evening.
Register. Ahead 1-2 to Balkum. Be followed by Mike Chernoff and Eric Fitzgerald here in the top half of the 9th inning. Register looking for his 16th save of the year. And there's a looper in the shallow left. Gamble with a late jump, running, and he made the catch. A running basket catch out in left field by Sean Gamble. 1 out in the inning. That was trouble in the making right there.
Well, you hear about outfielders who make difficult plays look easy. He made an easy play look difficult there. And the third base umpire fell down trying to go out and get a good look at it. The second base umpire, fortunately, got out behind the shortstop and made the call.
Dale Luker at third base did a little pirouette and almost fell flat on his face. Pinch hitter for Princeton, number 40, Will Venable. Left-handed hitter. Hitting .244 on the year. Takes the first pitch for a strike. He has 1 home run and 8 runs batted in.
Venable 86 at bats this year, so he has seen action in 25 games.
Swing and a foul tip in a Huddleston's glove, and the count's 0-2. The line. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and he carves Venable up quickly. 2 outs in the ninth.
3 strikeouts and 4 men retired for Stephen Register so far. 4,200 come to their feet. I'd say probably of the 4,200 on hand, 3,800 Auburn fans here.
First pitch, line down the line and left, slicing foul off the bat of Eric Fitzgerald, and the count is 0-1. Auburn 1 out away from advancing in the winner's bracket to face Ohio State tomorrow afternoon at 3. If the first game ends on time, we'll be on the air at 2:45 with the broadcast for you. Oh, and 1 the count. The line and the pitch. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Fitzgerald. 5-2, Auburn on top. Pitch. Number down the line at third. It's a foul ball, and Register out front, 1-2.
Steigner with his season high 6 strikeouts. So between he and Register, 9 strikeouts. Register denied by Auburn pitchers.
Here we go. The 1-2 pitch on the way from Register. Inside, he checked his swing. Terry Mann down at third. Said he held up. 2-2 now to Fitzgerald. Crowd on their feet. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Flew the fastball by him, and the Tigers win.
2003.
Yeah, LaBelle Spigner with the win. Stephen Register with the save. Stephen going through some health battles right now. Our prayers for Stephen and his family. Right now, the late Rod Bramblett, Paul Ellen on that call at what was it, jazzed up Plainsman Park. I remember it was electric that night on that Friday night for Auburn and Princeton.
You made the comment, and it's kind of going behind the curtain a little bit. There was no effects feed. Now most broadcasts that you hear, because there's TV everywhere, there's this professionally mixed effects feed, so you can hear the bat, you can hear the ball hit the mitt, and they've got 3 or 4 crowd mics, and they mix it all together, and then they provide us with the feed. Tennessee has done that here. Not back then.
No, we had boom mics that had been installed in the top of the grandstand, underneath the cover of the grandstand, and that was what we used along with a regular crowd mic there. So that's all crowd mics.
Beautiful.
For that game.
What a beautiful sound that was. And hopefully we hear sounds like that and even louder in a few weeks at Plainsman Park.
Absolutely. All right. Here's the situation here in Knoxville.
Yes.
They have played 1.5 inning tonight in a game that has been delayed because of rain and lightning and rain, and it's still raining and raining steadily here in Knoxville. In the first inning, Chris Rembert struck out on a 3-2 pitch. Cade Ballou walked on 4 pitches, and on a 2-1 pitch, Ike Irish went the opposite way and homered into left, over the left field wall. I'll be honest, when I saw it, I thought it had deflected off the wall, thought it was going to be a double, and Auburn led 1-0. It was ruled a 2-run homer. There was no argument from Tennessee.
No.
McMurray was then struck out and Guevara popped out. And as Auburn then was going out for defense, the umpires got together. They brought out the grounds crew here and immediately covered the mound. And that's the only non-artificial surface here in Knoxville. And that is where we stand right now. Auburn has not played one out or one pitch of defense. And we do not have a specific game time as to when this game will resume tonight, because the rain continues. We've had some lightning in the area, but we do not have a definitive time. And, in Auburn, when something like this happens, typically there's a clock on the video board that kind of gives you an idea of the lightning strikes and how much time is left.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the benefit of that here in Lexington.
We have just been given word that they're going to reassess at 9:30 Eastern. So they're going to
35 minutes.
Correct.
Okay.
35 minutes from now, they will come together, reassess again. And we also know that whenever the all clear is given, there will be a 30-minute warm-up period.
So let's say at 9:30 or 8:30 Central Time, they get together, they deem that they're ready to play again. It'll be 9 o'clock Central Time before this game resumes. Remember last week, Friday night, Auburn didn't start playing until 9:15.
Right.
That night. So
Tennessee didn't play in Baton Rouge that night until after 9:30, right?
9:50.
Yeah, 9:50.
All right.
So
let me give you a couple scores that we have. Auburn women's tennis today, a 4-love win against South Carolina State. Auburn, of course, hosting the NCAA Regional at the Yarborough Tennis Center. Auburn will play Wisconsin tomorrow at 1. The winner moves on to the round or to the Sweet 16. I believe that's correct. I believe that's a Sweet 16 next weekend. So a win today for Auburn and Jordan Zabo's team. 4-love today against South Carolina State. Auburn plays Wisconsin tomorrow at 1. Admission is free. Parking at the Yarborough Tennis Center, also at Richland Elementary School.
Yes.
For that. How about a big crowd out for that? Auburn softball right now is playing its final home series, and in all likelihood, its final home games of the season. The Tigers are playing North Carolina State right now. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, and Auburn on top 7-0 against North Carolina State. The Tigers in North Carolina State scheduled to play tomorrow at 2 and then Sunday at 1, but weather could play a factor in that. In the SEC baseball right now, games that are going on. They're in the bottom of the 5th in Columbia. Georgia leads Missouri 1-0. Top of the 1st in Columbia, South Carolina, no score. Florida and South Carolina. I'm not sure that game has actually begun.
Well, they have a similar situation as what is happening here.
All right, bottom of the 4th in Norman, no score. Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Bottom of the 1st in Nashville, no score. Alabama and Vanderbilt. And the top of the 1st, I don't think this game has begun as well. Texas at Arkansas, no score. Arkansas won game 1 last night of that series against number 1 Texas. So that gets you up to date on the scores for you.
I'm looking up more information on the Florida South Carolina opener, and it is the exact same thing that has happened. They played the top of the 1st inning of that game, and at that point, again, just to remind everybody the rules, it is basically in the hands of the home team. The official rule book says the home institution's athletic director or his or her designee shall have the authority to determine whether a contest should, prior to its start, be temporarily delayed until a later time on the same date or another time on another date within the scheduled series. Once a contest has started, the decision to suspend play is the responsibility of the umpires. So this is happening in 2 different places in the league tonight.
And they are playing at Arkansas, top of the 1st. Texas has runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. So that game is underway in Fayetteville.
As Arkansas goes for the series win.
Right.
Okay, so let's tell you what. We're close enough to the top of the hour right now. Let's pause for station identification, and then we'll tell you what is next. We're going to switch it up a little bit for those of you who are staying up with us and hanging with us on the Auburn Sports Network tonight on affiliate stations throughout Alabama or on the Auburn Game Day app, or those of you watching it rain here on the Auburn Tigers YouTube channel in the booth feed. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Auburn Sports Network. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee, where we are waiting on the bottom of the first inning. Auburn leads Tennessee 2-0. An Ike Irish 2-run homer gave Auburn the lead in the top of the first. And then before the bottom of the first, we entered into our second weather delay of the night. We know it'll be at least 30 minutes before the next assessment. And once a final call is made, teams will have 30 minutes to warm up. So in the meantime, we're going to take you back to another Auburn-Tennessee meeting in Knoxville from a couple of decades ago. This time over across the way at Neyland Stadium, where Auburn football made a statement.
Boy, did it ever.
The 2004 season, some hard-fighting soldiers went up to Neyland Stadium and made a statement. We bring you that broadcast. The late Rod Bramlett and Stan White and Quentin Riggins on the call from the Auburn Sports Network weather delay programming.
Welcome back to Knoxville, Tennessee. And I tell you what, if you don't get goosebumps when Rocky Top is playing and the Tennessee Volunteers are running onto the football field, I don't care who you're pulling for, you do not have a pulse and you do not love college football. What an atmosphere here at Neyland Stadium. And we're just about ready to go. Stanley here as Auburn won the toss. They defer. Tennessee will receive and Auburn will defend the North goal. The game is on, Stan. Let's go.
Well, this is what we live for. Even we love calling these games. Auburn and Citadel's great, but Auburn, Tennessee, you just can't beat the atmosphere. 108,000 standing strong. 2 top 10 teams. The battle of the SEC West against the SEC East, and you can't get better, much better than this in college football on Saturday night.
Auburn wearing the road whites, the blue numerals, orange and stripe down the breeches, each side of the pants. Tennessee wearing the dreamsicle orange jerseys with the white trousers and the white numerals. Phillip Yost preparing to kick it off to Corey Larkins and Gerald Riggs Jr. Auburn will be kicking off from left to right. They'll be kicking towards the south end zone here at Neyland Stadium. Everybody on their feet. And we're just about ready to go. Phillip Yost has been given the go-ahead to get this football game underway. The right hand in the air. Looks right, looks left. Moves on the football at the 35, and he kicks it away, and it's long, it's high, it's deep, and it is 5 yards deep into the end zone. Corey Larkins, far side, takes it to a knee, and Tennessee will start on the 20. Officiating crew tonight, the line judge is Michael Taylor. Back judge, Rick Lumiere. Lane Thomas is the head linesman. The side judge is Stephen Patrick. Daniel R. Pulley III is the umpire. The field judge is Michael Williams, and Steve Shaw is the referee. Tennessee moving from right to left. Eric Ames, the starting quarterback, the freshman out of Hillsboro, Oregon. Cedric Houston, in the backfield. Corey Anderson at fullback. And Ames will fake the handoff, roll right, looking downfield, and throws it out of bounds. Into the chains, head first, goes the intended receiver, Tony Brown. That'll be an incomplete pass on the far side boundary, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Well, Tennessee coming out with a play action fake, rolling Ames to the wide side of the field. Wanted Tony Brown, a little bit of a late throw, and Tony Brown got pushed right into the chain at the 10-yard marker.
2nd down and 10, 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Ames under center, 5-man front for Auburn, and a whistle and a stoppage in play here by the officials.
There's going to be a timeout on Tennessee.
This is interesting here. I guess it is a timeout for Tennessee. Yes, charge timeout to the Volunteers. With 14:55 to go in the first quarter, right off the bat, Tennessee uses a timeout. 2nd down and 10, Tennessee had to use an early timeout. Ball between the hash marks at their own 20. Cedric Houston, the tailback. Corey Anderson, the fullback. Behind the quarterback, Ames under center. Single wideouts, Hannon and Brown. Ames looking over to the sideline. Getting direction on a play change here. Play clock winding down. It's still at 10 seconds, so he has plenty of time. Short drop. Throws out in the flat, incomplete behind the receiver by 3-4 yards. The intended man was Tony Brown, and it's 3rd down and 10.
Well, that's what you have when you have a true freshman quarterback out there. Not everybody hears the check. The wide receiver
takes off on a go route, just running the defender off. Auburn came up and gave an 8-man front. Will Herring came to the box and made it a man-to-man situation. Ames wanted a hitch route, but his receiver didn't read it.
All right, now 2 wide outs to the far side, 1 man in the slot to that side of the field. A wide out to the near side. 3rd down and 10 again. Ames looking over for instructions. Boy, I tell you what, he's even having trouble communicating with his own team. Offset eye behind him. Play clock down to 3. Takes the snap. Long drop. Looking downfield across the middle. Too high to handle. Intended receiver Tony Brown. Incomplete. 3 and out. Go the Volunteers on their first possession.
Well, not only 3 and out, but no yards. 3 straight passes. 2 of them checkoffs by Eric Ames at the line of scrimmage. A little bit of confusion there on the last play. Tony Brown wanted it on the square end, but Ames was a little bit too high. Auburn's going to get the ball.
One of the best punters in SEC history steps back. A senior, Dustin Colquitt, a 6'2", 196-pound senior. Out of here in Knoxville, Tennessee, averaging 44 yards a punt. He's standing back at his own 5-yard line with Trey Smith waiting for it at his own 35. Snap back. Here comes pressure, and Auburn almost gets to it. And they do. Partially blocked. It hits at the 40 to the 45, rolls Tennessee's way at the 45-yard line of Auburn. Tony Bell just got a piece of it. Just got the fingertips on it. It still ended up being a 35-yard punt stand, but great field position out of it for the Tigers.
Boy, the true freshman from Thompson High School in Birmingham, Alabama, comes right up the middle. Carlos Rogers came as a gunner on the outside. It brought the pressure off of him. Tony Bell came right up the middle and just got his right hand reaching out over it and got a piece of it.
1st and 10 Auburn from their own 45, ball to the near hash mark. Jason Campbell under center. Slaughter at fullback. Cornell Williams will get the carry. And he's wrapped up. 1-yard loss behind the line of scrimmage by Paris Harrelson, the 6'2 junior out of Flora, Mississippi. I think Tennessee wasn't looking for that right off the bat. They were able to get into the backfield, and Paris Harrelson made the tackle. 2nd down and 11 now. Just underway, no score. Still 14:09 to go in the first. We haven't even played a minute yet. Campbell in the shotgun. Cornell Williams flanked to his right. 2 wideouts to the far side, 1-2 to the near side. Quick out to Ronnie Brown. Catches it at the 45. Runs over a man at the 50 in the Tennessee territory near the 49-yard line. Cut down by Brandon Johnson, the starting strong safety for Tennessee.
That was a double screen. Jason Campbell could have thrown the screen to the wide side. He chose to come to the screen down to Ronnie Brown to the weak side. A good pickup, 6 yards, makes it 3rd and short.
3rd down and a little bit less than 4 yards to go. Anthony Mix in the game. Ronnie Brown out, so it's Mix, Taylor, Aroma Shadu, the wide receiver to the far side of the field. Man in motion to the near side is Courtney Taylor. Here's Jason Campbell, short drop, quick out, thrown, and caught by Taylor. He's got a 1st down at the 45, still on his feet at the 40, inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. What a catch by Taylor. He took it right out of the hands of, I believe, Brandon Johnson. What a 14-yard pickup, Stan.
What a play by Courtney Taylor, the sophomore from Carrollton, Alabama. Good play by the defender from Tennessee. He bit on it. Looked like he had the pick going the other way, but Courtney Taylor said, no, thank you. Give it back. I'll get another 12 yards. 1st down and 10 inside the 35-yard line.
Spotted at the 34. Roma should do the lone wide out to the far side. Pal Derazan now in. He'll split out as a wide receiver along with Cooper Wallace to the near side. 2 to the far side. Cornell Williams and flags come in. Danny Lindsay moving early. And that'll be the first penalty of the night against Auburn.
Well, that's what you can't have because it just makes this crowd much more
Ball
louder.
start, number 68 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
When that happens, the crowd just yells that much more because they feel like they're doing their job.
Danny Lindsay caught that time, moving early, and that will move the ball back to the 38.5. So 1st and 15. Auburn in Tennessee territory. Taylor splits out to the far side, or almost to do to the near side. The lone running back is Cornell Williams. Toss sweep to Williams, short side of the field. Dances around a defender to the 35 and can't quite tightrope his way down the near sideline. Steps out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Jason Allen giving him enough of a shove to knock him out of bounds over there.
Well, I love that play that Auburn runs. They pull the tackle. Troy Reddick that time pulls outside, leading up Cornell Williams, and not many defenders going to get in the way of a 320-pound tackle pulling outside to lead.
6-yard pickup. So now Auburn looking at third down. Check that, second down and 9. Ball at the 33. 12 and a half minutes to go, just under 12 and a half, 12:29. Offset eye, Ronnie Brown and Cornell Williams behind Jason Campbell. Campbell checking off at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the noise. Down to 4, down to 3, down to 2. Auburn gets the play off. Hand off to Cornell Williams to the 30, to the 25. Ducked out of bounds. Just enough for a first down at the 23-yard line. Oh, my goodness.
Jason Campbell doing a good job of relaying the check to all his players up there and getting the handoff to the weak side to to Cornell Williams over Jason Allen. Pushed him out of bounds, but not enough. Got the first down by a yard.
First and 10 Auburn at the Tennessee 23-yard line. Just a straight eye now. Cooper Wallace moves out of the fullback spot. Lines up, punched up with Ronnie Brown on the left side. Hand off to Cornell Williams. Tripped up in the backfield and then snowed under as he got away momentarily. Jesse Mahalona making the first stop. And then Omar Gates with the strong side linebacker coming up to finish things off. That's no gain. Maybe a loss of a half a yard.
Mahalona getting a lot of pressure right up the middle. He's a sack leader with 2 on the year. Good job by Mahalona getting in there, getting pressure.
Big 6'2", 300-pound junior out of Hawaii. So second down and a long 10 to go. Campbell in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Campbell throws out, and it's caught. Brown at the 20. Picks it up to the 15. Still on his feet, stretching for the first down yardage. He may have come up just a little bit short. Right around the 13. It'll be close. Jason Allen had a grab on him, but Ronnie Brown stretching that football out. Came close to a first down. I think he'll be just a little bit short.
Good job of Al Borges using his personnel. He had Cooper Wallace that flexed out wide. That was the lead blocker on that quick screen again to Ronnie Brown. Another 10-yard gain.
Cooper Wallace and Cole Bennett, 2 tight ends in there. This is a power set for Auburn. High backfield. Slaughter, the fullback. Cornell Williams at tail. The handoff to Cadillac. Flag on the play. He's got the first down to the 10, but let's see what the flag's all about. My goodness. If this is against Auburn, it is a killer down deep in Tennessee territory.
It may be an offsides.
No indication from either team.
They're talking to Jason Campbell. That's an offsides on Tennessee.
Offsides. Number 98 on the defense. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Yeah, you take the penalty there, Stan, because Cornell picked up 3, and that penalty gives you 5.
Well, now, but you're looking at first and goal from the 9. It's harder to get in there, but that's still, you got to take the yardage when you can get it.
10:58, 10:57, clock rolling here in the first. First and goal from the Tennessee 9-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. Auburn moving from left to right. Snap to Campbell, toss sweep to Cornell Williams. Looking for room, trapped to the 15, gets away to the 10, spins down to the 9, gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe just a little bit more before he's brought down by Rashawn Fellows, a freshman out of Warren, Arkansas.
Well, this Tennessee defense, they may be young, but they're very, very fast. They're not going to allow Cornell Williams to get outside and get that speed going.
Second down and goal now from the 9-yard line. No score. Auburn and Tennessee were in the first quarter here at Neyland Stadium. Taylor and Roman Shadu, the wide receivers to the far side. Ronnie Brown in the game now at tailback. He's the only running back in there behind Jason. Campbell changing his plays. Play clock at 8. Play clock at 7. Still time with 5. Takes the snap, hand off to Brown up the middle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Ronnie Brown. Touchdown, Tigers.
Good job. Jason Campbell checking to the bubble right over the center. What a play. Ronnie Brown takes the handoff, and he pulls his way at the 5-yard line and ran over tacklers for the first score of the night for Auburn.
John Vaughn in to attempt the extra point. And the license plate of that truck that just hit Jason Allen is 2-3. Extra point is up, and it is good. 7-0 Auburn with 9:50 to go in the first quarter of play. On top of the Volunteers in Knoxville. That was a little bit of power football down there from the 9-yard line by Auburn.
Well, it really was, but I like the play calling of Al Borges. Jason Campbell, 3 of 3 for 32 yards, but not very difficult passes. Now, Courtney Taylor could have had the play of that drive, taking the ball away from the Tennessee defender to keep the drive alive, but you're right, inside the 10, they pounded it with Ronnie Brown, 230 pounds, just bowling over him in the middle.
Phillip Yost to kick it away. Kick the last one into the end zone. This one will not make it. Corey Larkins takes it at the goal line. Up to the 5 to the 10, 15. Hit at the 16, falls at the 17, and there's Tony Bell, who has been one of the names that we've called out the most this season, Stan, making those special team tackles.
Boy, he really is. He's fierce. He gets down there, kind of a strong safety outside linebacker by trade, but, man, he can haul, and he's making plays.
9:44 to go in the first. Now Tennessee going 3 and out in their first possession. Let's see what the Vols try here. I would be surprised if they threw the football here on 1st down and 10 from their 16 and a half. Cedric Houston, the lone back in the backfield. And they'll hand it off up the middle. Houston, big hole to the 20. Will Herring wraps it up around the ankles at the 25, 26-yard line. Junior Rosegreen helping out there. Gets it up to the 26. Not quite enough for a 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and short.
Well, that's what Auburn has to be aware of. They overran the play. Those big linemen just helped Auburn just overrun that play. Houston cut it back for about 9. They're going to measure it. It may got a 1st down.
Yeah, now they're looking at the spot. It may be enough for the 1st down. They'll stretch the chains out. And it is by the nose of the football. So 1st and 10, Tennessee, their first down of the night. Good play call there by the Volunteers. So 1st down and 10 coming up for Tennessee. Trailing early here, 7-0. Ames brings him to the line of scrimmage. Derek Tinsley and Jason Swain, the wideouts to the near side. Chris Hannon to the far side. Another handoff. Houston slips the tackle. 30. Man, nice play by Will Herring. Open field play made at the 30-yard line. Spotted just across the 30 as Houston was trying to speed away from Will Herring, but showing some pretty good speed, closing speed there on the big tailback.
Good job by Will Herring coming up and tackling in the open field. Stanley McGlover, he's played. He got yanked in the second game because he was overrunning plays just like that when he had Houston for a 2-yard loss, but he overran the play.
2nd down coming up and 6 to go. So a pickup of 4 on that last carry by Houston. Ames from the shotgun on the quarterback draw. Nowhere to go. Dropped for a loss behind or inside the 30 by Travis Williams, who never, ever took his eyes off the quarterback Ames.
Somewhat of a call that's going to try to get Auburn off guard. Now, they have a running quarterback, Schaefer. He's a lot better of a runner than Eric Ames, but they tried the quarterback draw right there. It did not work at all. Travis Williams is right there to make a stick on Ames for a 2-yard loss.
So 3rd down and 7 coming up now for Tennessee. They need the 37. It's just inside their own 30. Ball between the hash marks. Swain, Meacham, and Tinsley, the wide receivers. Anderson and Houston flank Ames out of the shotgun. And the throw on the screen is caught at the 30 to the 35. 1st down to the 40. It's the 1st down for Tennessee. Jason Swain. Tackle made by Josh Thompson, but not before he got all the way out to the 41-yard line.
Well, Randy Sanders taking a play call from Al Borges' playbook. The quick screen to Swain that time. Auburn brought a blitz on the outside, played right into it. Swain picks up the 1st down.
11-yard pickup on the play. 1st and 10, Tennessee. So the Volunteers starting to move the football now. Swain, Mitchum, and Tinsley still the wideouts. Houston, the lone running back, Ames under center this time. Hand off to Houston, and he's caught behind the line. Again, this is Travis Williams, a junior out of Columbia, South Carolina, pulling Houston down at the 40, just inside their own 40-yard line.
Auburn's linebackers are not very big, but they anticipate well, they read well, and they're very, very fast. Travis Williams shoots through the gap right up the middle for the 2-yard loss.
2nd down and 11. And the handoff to Houston off right guard. Slips a tackle across the 45 to the 46, maybe the 47, before Jay Ratliff pulls him down. Still will be facing a 3rd down play coming up here from their own 47. They need the Auburn 49, the spot to gain there for the 1st down for Tennessee. 6:50 to go, Auburn leading 7-0. We're in the first quarter. 3rd down and 4 coming up from the far hash mark. Man in motion from far side to near side. Ames changing his play now. The play clock winds down to 7 seconds. Still plenty of time. Now down to 5, down to 4. Gets it off with 2 seconds to go. Ainge looking, fires, and it's wide open. Caught the 38-yard line. Brett Smith into Auburn territory. Brought down immediately by Junior Rosegreen. But whatever play they checked off to was the right one there, as Brett Smith was wide open for the Tennessee first down into Auburn territory at the 38.
Boy, what a throw by Eric Ainge, the true freshman. He took a 5-step drop. He looked to the weak side. He came back to Brett Smith on a square end and hit him right on the number for the first down.
6:18 to go in the first quarter. Tennessee moving, though, trailing 7-0. It's an eye backfield behind Ainge. Again, changing the play at the line. 4-man front for Auburn. Play clock still at 10, so still plenty of time for the freshman quarterback. Takes the snap. Short drop, throws near side, and it's caught inside the 35 down to the 32 by C.J. Payton, Jr. out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Montavis Pitts making the catch. That is Payton's 4th catch of the season. And it's a pickup, a good pickup, down just shy of the 30. We'll call it right on top of the 30. So a pickup of 8, 2nd down and short. Let's see if Tennessee goes to the end zone or they run the football here. They're going to run it. Houston had a hole. It's enough for a first down. It closed up pretty quick. Kevin Sears making the tackle the night before. Houston got it down to the 25, just across the 25-yard line, and it's 1st and 10, Tennessee.
Boy, that time Ruspert, the center, had his way with Josh Thompson over the nose tackle. He just pushed Thompson all the way down the line, and Houston just cut back into the hole for the first down.
Now Gerald Riggs in at tailback behind Anderson, the fullback. 1st and 10, Volunteers. Ainge changing his play again at the line. Down to 10 seconds on the play clock. Looking over to the sideline for instructions. Play clock at 5, takes the snap. Going to throw again. Lobs it up. Intended receiver, and it's caught, but it's out of bounds. It's out of bounds in the end zone. C.J. Payton, the man down there, made the catch, but he didn't get his feet in bounds.
Boy, and you had to feel they were going to go toward Montavis Pitts. They've run a couple of hitch routes over here. They did a hitch and go. C.J. Payton goes on the fade route, and it was thrown well, but it was caught. Now, Payton's got to know where the sideline is. He caught it outside the pylon. Good call by the officials.
Fans here clad in the light orange, not happy about it, but clearly out of bounds, according to the replay that we're fortunate enough to have here in the booth. 4:55, clock stops. 2nd down and 10 from the 25. Snap to Ainge. Gonna throw again. Down the middle, into the end zone. Too high to handle. Intended receiver was Brett Smith in the coverage again, Montavis Pitts. You don't think they're picking on Monte a little bit tonight?
Boy, that's what they did. They swapped Carlos Rogers, put him into the boundary. They put Montavis Pitts to the wide side, and sure enough, Randy Sanders wants to go up top to the post again. Montavis Pitts is going to get a lot of throws tonight. A couple of times he's gotten beat, but that time, good job.
Well, they got some tall receivers. Brown is 6'2", Payton 6'2", Brett Smith 6'3", Payton 6'2". I tell you what, they've got some tall receivers they're going to try and use to their advantage. 3 wide receivers bunched to the far side on 3rd and 10 from the 25 of Auburn. Shotgun formation. Ainge rolls to his right. Here comes the pressure. Throws it for the end zone and out of bounds. Way out of bounds. Far side of the field. Intended for Tony Brown. And that one was 4 or 5 yards out of bounds. 4:42 to go on the first, and that'll bring up 4th and 10. And a kicking situation here for the Tennessee Volunteers as they'll try for the field goal from James Wilhoit.
Let me tell you what you have when you have a Carlos Rogers. You can use Will Herring and take him to the wide side to where the flood route's going and just let Carlos Rogers lock down on the weak receiver and not worry about him. And that's exactly what happened. Will Herring helped out Montavis Pitts on the deep route.
41.5-yard field goal attempt here for Wilhoit. 1 for 3 on the season. From the far near hash mark, the kick is up, and the kick is good. He's a good one. 18 for 27, now 19 for 28 in his career, and Tennessee is on the board. Nice job by Auburn's defense, though, to bend but not break. Auburn 7, Tennessee 3 with 4:37 to go here in the first. And we're back in Knoxville, Tennessee, 7-3. Auburn on top of the Volunteers. We'll send it down to the sidelines, and Quentin Riggins.
Thanks, Rod. It is incredibly loud down here. What Auburn's offense has done, Al Borges, watch for it. When they want to move, when they want to motion and not let the crowd affect it, Jason Campbell is clapping his hands, and the receivers and backs are shifting to the next formation. Stan, if he wants motion, he's pushing his leg back, and the receivers are watching his feet, and they're running in motion. Some hand signals and stuff like that, guys, they're going to need it for this crowd noise.
Well, that's what you work on when you face 105, 108,000 people. You work on all silent counts, clapping your hands, using hand motions. You got to get on the same rhythm.
James Wilhoit to kick it away to Carnell Williams and Devin Aromashadu. It's a high kick, and Aromashadu will take it 5 yards deep to a knee, and Auburn will put it in play at their own 20. 13-play drive for Tennessee, 59 yards, 5 minutes and 7 seconds off the clock, and a 41-yard field goal by James Wilhoit to put Tennessee on the board, and it's 7-3 Tigers with 4:37 to go.
Good job by the defense, though. They have that bend but not break mentality. They swapped over Montavis Pitts to the wide side defensive backfield and left Carlos Rogers to go one-on-one. It was a good move by Gene Chizik.
All right, Auburn back in their own territory. Second possession, their worst starting point of the night at the 20. Campbell under center. Ben Obamanu now in the game as a wide receiver. Ronnie Brown now in the slot to the far side. Two wide receivers to the near side. One of them is Cooper Wallace. He is in the slot. Campbell, short drop out in the flat to Brown. Caught at the 19. Loses the man at the 20, but can't escape. Picks up a couple of yards to the 22-yard line. Tennessee smelled that one out pretty quickly as Jason Allen and Jason Hall, a couple of Jasons making the tackle there for the Volunteers. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Tigers.
I have a feeling that this game plan is kind of revolved around Ronnie Brown this evening. He's caught 3 of those quick screens so far, plus he had a touchdown run of 9 yards right up the middle.
2nd down and 8, ball on the far hash mark. Auburn moving from left to right. Taylor and Obamanu to the near side. 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Snap to Campbell in the shotgun. Punt fake. Now looks to his right. Plenty of time. Nobody open. Finds Taylor at the 30, to the 35, 40. Middle of the field to the 45. Midfield in the Tennessee territory at the 46-yard line. Courtney Taylor, a 34-yard catch. And Stan, what a great play by Jason Campbell.
He improvised so well on that because that was a fake quick screen, and then he wanted a deep route by the outside receivers. Well, it wasn't there. He pointed and said, Courtney Taylor, go across the middle, and he drug across the middle. Jason Campbell, 5 for 5, 68 yards, but what a play by Jason Campbell to Courtney Taylor.
First down, Auburn in Tennessee territory at the 46. Ronnie Brown now in the game. Parnell, a wide receiver, wide out to the left. Campbell changing his play at the line of scrimmage. Play clock down to 5, 4, 3. Campbell gets the play off. Hand off to Ronnie Brown. Cuts it back to the right to the 40. Ronnie Brown looking for some blockers. Drags 3 Tennessee defenders down to the 35. That's enough for a first down for Auburn. 11 yards on that hard run by Ronnie Brown, brought down by Jason Allen.
And a good job by the left side of the offensive line for Auburn, pushing the defensive front around of this Tennessee defensive line. But Ben Obamanu, he needs to get out there and block because Ronnie Brown about ran right up his back.
1st and 10 Auburn from the Tennessee 35-yard line. Clock running here in the first quarter with 2:56 to go. 3 in the backfield. Hand off to Carnell Williams looking for the left end. 35, slides up, slides down at the 32. Brandon Johnson forcing him up in there, bringing him down. It's a pickup of about 2 or 3 yards for Carnell Williams. They'll spot the football at the 32-yard line of Tennessee.
Well, in that time, Auburn lines up in a full house backfield with Cooper Wallace back there behind the eye. And they did a quick snap, hand off to Carnell Williams over the left side, the wide side, for about 3.5 yards.
2nd down and 7, 2:20 clock running here in the first. Mix Taylor and Obamanu, the wideouts, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. On 2nd down and 7, Campbell changing his play, down to 5 seconds on the play clock. Campbell gets it off. Hand off to Cadillac. 30, 25, 20. Down to the 15. Still on his feet to the 10. Inside the 10 to the 9. Cadillac for 22.
Man, what a job by the offensive line, just blowing Tennessee's defensive line off the ball. Jason Mitchell and Hefney come in to make the tackle, but 22 yards down the field. Carnell Williams just rumbling and bumbling to the 10-yard line.
Spot it right on top of the 10. So 1st down and goal, Auburn. Brown and Smith. Trey Smith in the game now. He's in the slot as Smith. Now Smith will go in motion and bunch up with Cooper Wallace on the near side. Single wide receivers to each side of the field. Hand off to Brown. Cuts it right. He's down to the 5. Spins and the ball is loose. Down to the 1-yard line and Tennessee falls on it. Somebody got their hand or a helmet in there and the Volunteers get it back at the 1. Backed up on their old goal line, but Auburn, a scoring opportunity goes by the wayside. Kevin Burnett falling on the football at the Tennessee 1.
Well, that's exactly what you can't have when you get inside the 10-yard line in the red zone. When you're having your way with this Tennessee defense, a Tennessee defender got in there after a second effort from Ronnie Brown and got his helmet right on the ball when Ronnie Brown was trying to reach it out. And they recovered at the 1-yard line.
Omar Gaither knocking the ball loose. Kevin Burnett falling on it. Tennessee at their own 1-yard line, moving from right to left towards the north end zone here at Neyland Stadium. Eric Ainge still in there, quarterback. First down and 10 Volunteers after the Auburn turnover. Snap to Ainge. He's going to throw it out of his own end zone. Throws it away. Tipped off the hands of Gerald Riggs Jr. as Jay Ratliff put his helmet right between the 1 and the 10 of Eric Ainge, and somehow he got it away. Just trying to get it out of the end zone, and Gerald Riggs had it go off his fingertips. I think Eric Ainge really was just trying to get it out of there and throw it away.
Well, and Eric Ainge got very lucky right there. He had a receiver in the vicinity, and it tipped off Riggs. They wanted to go against Montavis Pitts again. They wanted to try to take the deep shot downfield.
High backfield from the 1, second down and 10. Auburn bunching it up in there as Tennessee went for the quarterback sneak. Is the ball loose? Auburn says they've got it. In that massive humanity down around the 2 or 3 yard line, Auburn saying they've got the football. They do!
You called it 2 plays later.
Off the air, I told Stan White, save that stat about Auburn's offense till we get the ball back. That'll be about 2 plays, and that was about 2 plays ago.
That was about 2 plays ago. A simple quarterback sneak by Ainge, but he doesn't run the ball much at all. And an Auburn defender in the big pile punched the ball out. And I can't tell who came up with the ball. It was Junior Rosegreen, the strong safety, came up with the ball. First and goal on the 2-yard line for Auburn.
Tommy Tuberville said in his pregame he wanted 5 turnovers tonight. He's got 1 of them. High backfield. Parnell Williams behind Slaughter. Wallace in motion. Power football shown by Auburn. And now Campbell fumbles the snap, but a flag comes in there. False start for Auburn. Woo-hoo. Tell you what, that's a penalty against the Tigers. It'll back them up.
It's a dead ball foul.
Tennessee comes out of there with it, but don't get too excited too quick.
They called the play dead, about 3 officials.
Let's listen to Steve Shaw, our lead official.
Dead ball before the snap. False start on the fullback against Auburn. 5-yard penalty. First down.
When you get inside the 10, you have to concentrate. That's what Tommy Tuberville talked about pre-game. We've got to play a smart game. We've got to concentrate because it's going to be louder than you've ever heard it. You've got to look for the snap. Now, first and goal on about the 6.5-yard line.
You backed up, but now you don't feel like necessarily you got to run power football. You've got some play options here. Looking at first down and goal from the 7. Quick snap to Campbell, handoff to Parnell. Hit hard at the 7, toppled, spun upside down, and hits hard at the 5-yard line. Wow, what a hit by Mahalona, a junior out of Hawaii, knocking Campbell up in the air, his feet out from under him. Did a somersault and hit hard at the 5.5-yard line. So second down and goal now for the Tigers as we're under a minute in the first. Tigers lead it 7-3, 42 seconds to go. Single wide out, Courtney Taylor. Ronnie Brown in the game. He'll go out and line up in the slot. And now Ben Obamanu is the wide out to the far side, or the near side. Snap to Campbell, fake to Parnell, rolling right. Campbell in the end zone, wide open, dropped by Cooper Wallace.
You got to take advantage of your plays. Great play by Jason Campbell. Play action fake, bootleg out to the weak side. What a play call by Al Borges. Perfect play call. Jason Campbell throws a strike on the back of the end zone and catch the ball.
A perfect throw. My goodness. But Auburn with another crack at it. Third down and 5.5 to go. 21 seconds to go in the first quarter. Campbell from the shotgun. Campbell takes the snap. Looks across the middle. Caught by Obamano in the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn. Tigers are up 13-3.
Let me tell you something. Cooper Wallace is the first one to meet Ben Obamanu and say thanks. Thanks for picking me up. A slant route. Jason Campbell takes the shotgun throw and guns it in there to Ben Obamanu from Selma, Alabama for the second touchdown for Auburn.
His 9th career touchdown catch, and it gives Auburn a 13-3 lead with 17 seconds to go in the first. Vaughn to attempt the extra point. Out of the hole to Sam Reeves, and the snap of Chaz Crowfoot. Kick up, kick is good. 14-3 Tigers with 17 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play in Knoxville, Tennessee. 3-play drive, officially 1 yard. Remember, Tigers had it at the 1.5. 57 seconds off the clock, and turnovers here in the first quarter proving to be a big factor late as Auburn turns it over at the 1, and then Tennessee returns the favor, and the Tigers are able to poke it in there and take a 14-3 lead.
Boy, that was a big play, and Cooper Wallace is he's over there thinking his lucky stars to Ben Obamanu, but that happens. He's like, thanks, man. Thanks for getting my back, because that was a huge opportunity for Auburn, and they take advantage of it. Big turnover. Ronnie Brown and then Eric Ainge coming back on a quarterback sneak, and Auburn going in for the strike, expanding that lead to 14-3.
Right now, Cooper Wallace is asking Ben Obamanu, what do you want for Christmas? I'm getting you 2 of them, whatever it is.
Well, if you needed anything to quieten this crowd a little bit, you couldn't ask for a better start for Auburn, really doing a dominating performance on defense, bending but not breaking, but then coming back on offense and really dominating the line of scrimmage.
That's what's been so impressive, Stan. Auburn has, for the most part, moved the ball at will. They've done whatever they wanted to offensively here in the first quarter.
They have. How about this for a stat? 68 yards passing, 66 yards rushing.
That's exactly right. And I tell you, the middle of that defensive line for Tennessee, we've called Mahalona's name out a couple of times, but he and Justin Harrell, they've been pushed around a little bit there in the middle. Phillip Yost to kick it away. Just 17 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Yost boots it into the end zone for Larkins, 2 yards deep to the 5. 10, 15, hit at the 18, dragged down at the 19. I believe that's Derek Graves making the tackle. Yes, it is. And with some help from Trey Smith on the play. So 1st and 10 Tennessee from their own 19 and 11 seconds to go in the first.
Auburn's special teams this year has really done a good job. Trey Smith and Tony Bell and Graves and the rest of them, they've really hustled down there. I don't know a time where any team against them so far has got out on a kickoff past the 30-yard line.
All right, the kid that's called the baby Michael Vick, Brent Schaefer in the football game out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. He is a very athletic quarterback. Can hurt you with his feet as much as his arm. High backfield from their own 19, Schaefer hands it off. And falling down in the backfield at the 18-yard line is Cedric Houston. They spot his knee down at the 18. Houston tried to get up and run with it, but his knee went down at the 18-yard line. No one brought him down but himself. That will bring us to the end of what has been a very good first quarter for Auburn. The Tigers lead the Volunteers in Knoxville 14-3. Before we go to the second quarter, 14-3, Auburn leading Tennessee. We'll go to the sidelines and Quentin Riggins.
Thanks, Rod. I wish you could be down here looking at the faces of these Tennessee fans, shock and awe. Even when Ronnie Brown fumbled going into the end zone during the mayhem, looking on these Tennessee fans, they would sit on the edge of their seat with disbelief, their mouth open. I'm not kidding. I wouldn't exaggerate that. Now, another point, defensively, guys, Tennessee, the running backs are cutting back. They're cutting back against the grain, runs to the weak side. The defensive end has to stay at home, stand up over, and all the defensive ends have to play. And then the backside linebacker has to run to the neck of the center, and just stay there. The play will come back to them, guys. They will make a ton of tackles if they stay at home.
Well, that's exactly right. You couldn't ask for a better start for the first quarter for Auburn to get up by 11 points. And like you said, you like it when they have to cut back because they're not pushing the defensive line 3 and 4 or 5 yards down the field. They're having to cut back.
2nd down and 10 for Tennessee. Now moving from left to right as we look at the field here from the press box at Neyland Stadium. Schaefer, the quarterback now. And on 2nd down, Auburn bringing pressure. They got Schaefer trapped in the backfield. He gets away to the 15 to the 20. to the 23, spun down and ahead to the 25-yard line, Travis Williams. And there you have a great example, a perfect example of how Brett Schaefer can run away from anybody.
Boy, what a play. They had a perfect play call on. Brett Eddins got into the backfield. Carlos Rogers did a blitz from the cornerback position to the front side and chased him all around the field. But Schaefer, such athleticism, getting 6 yards down the field.
All right, 3rd down and 4 for Tennessee from their own 25-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. Shotgun for Schaefer this time. Snap to the quarterback. And no, and here's the running back. Up the middle, 30 to the 35. Cedric Houston has the first down for Tennessee across the 35. A pickup of 13 to the 38-yard line. It's brought down by Travis Williams and Will Herring. They snapped it right to Houston.
That's a good play call. It's a misdirection draw is what it is. It looks like Schaefer's going to roll out. Houston does a little stutter step and comes back underneath, 13 yards down the field for the first down.
Great job by Schaefer to sell that draw play, and then Houston with the big yardage up the middle. So 1st and 10 from the 38. Schaefer now under center. Play fake, gonna throw, now run out of there and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Marquise Gunn, the sophomore out of Alexander City, and Josh Thompson collapsing around Brett Schaefer back there at the 34-yard line. In the first quarter, Auburn a balanced offensive attack, 67 yards rushing, 71 yards passing. Jason Campbell was 6 of 7 for 71 yards and a touchdown, and Auburn with a 14-3 lead after 1 quarter of play. But Tennessee with the football, 2nd down and 14 in their own territory at the 34. Play clock winding down as Schaefer checking off, down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, just got it off. Drop back Schaefer, unloads as he's hit. Deep downfield, and it's intercepted! Auburn intercepts it at the 31-yard line, Junior Rosegreen. Will Herring tipped it, right, check that. Montavious Pitts tipped it right in the hands of Junior Rosegreen, who made a terrific play over here on the near boundary. That is turnover number 2 of 5 that Tommy Tuberville called for tonight.
A poor decision by Schaefer, not the thrower of the quarterbacks. He fake pumped. Auburn didn't bite on it. Montavious Pitts does a great job playing cornerback, tips the ball just enough to Junior Rosegreen. 1st and 10, Auburn on the 30-yard line.
Auburn gets it back. 13 minutes to go here in the first half of play, and the Tigers have yet really to be stopped by Tennessee's defense. They've stopped themselves one time, but Tennessee's yet to hold in check this Auburn offense. Ronnie Brown, the tailback. He'll look at the play fake. Campbell to throw. Flushed out of the pocket and brought down at the 25-yard line. First sack of the night for Tennessee. A Tennessee defense that is 2nd in the league in sacks with 10, make it 11 now as Paris Harrelson brings down Jason Campbell for a 6-yard loss.
That time they brought a linebacker scraping off the outside to the play-action fake. Jason Campbell, play-action fake. He wants to take the deep shot, but didn't have time to step up and throw it and took the sack.
So 2nd down and 16 now for Auburn, with 12:25 to go in the first half of play. From their own 25, moving from right to left, 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Campbell, play action. Long drop back, dumps it off to Brown at the 25-30. Near sideline, 35, cut down, inside, and across the 40-yard line, out of bounds at the 43, a pickup of 18, and that is enough by 2 yards to pick up a first down for Auburn. Jonathan Hefney, the right cornerback, finally bringing down Ronnie Brown, who Tommy Tuberville said in his pregame, Ronnie Brown's going to be a very big part of this offense tonight.
Boy, what a play call. Come back with the same play-action fake, but they go with a screen to the weak side to the guy they were faking to. Ronnie Brown, the lineman get downfield and get 18 yards. Good job, Al Borges play calling.
Spotted at the 43.5. Ronnie Brown, the running back behind Jason Campbell. Jason again changing his play at the line of scrimmage. 5 on the play clock. Takes the snap, hand off to Brown, dances for room, and can't find any, maybe a yard to the 45-yard line. Omar Gaither, junior, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, 3rd on the team in tackles, got his first career start last weekend against Louisiana Tech because of the injury to the middle linebacker, Kevin Simon. Jason Mitchell had to move to the middle, and Omar Gaither stepping up to be the starter at the strong side. 2nd down and 9. Cooper Wallace and Cole Bennett in there, 2 tight ends. Daniels and Aroma Shadu. Ronnie Brown in there at tailback. Short drop for Campbell. Flushed out of the pocket, scrambles left, throws it out of bounds, throwing it away. And a flag coming in from back here at the 30-yard line. Let's see what this penalty is about. Campbell was outside the tackles. That wasn't the case. I don't think that they're going to call him for throwing it away. But Jonathan Wade and Silas Daniels were going at each other pretty good down around the 32-yard line.
And they're saying it's a defensive lineman saying it's against Auburn. How can you have offensive pass interference when the ball's not thrown to you?
I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. I don't know.
They're calling offensive pass interference, but Jason Campbell clearly was not throwing the ball anywhere near Silas Daniels. He was on the same side, but he was 30 yards down the field.
Yeah, the ball went out of bounds around the 45, and Daniels was down around the 30. So I was about 15 yards away from the play, even though it was on the same side of the field. Official still discussing things here. Here's Steve Shaw, our lead official.
They may
wave this off. Do you think they will? Let's
Pass
listen.
interference on the offense, number 85. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
All right, so that is a penalty. Pass interference, offensive pass interference. Silas Daniels is down there shaking his head.
I've never seen one like that. It looked like he was blocking.
That's all
what
he was
Silas
doing.
Daniels was doing. He was blocking downfield, and it was a pass interference call. Now that's a bad. That's not having your head in the game if you're an official, because
he was just blocking. Stan, he thought Jason Campbell was going to run the football. Third penalty for 24 yards. That's a big one too. Second down and 23. Ball from the 29. Campbell to throw. Across the middle, caught by Aroma Shadu at the 33. Drag tacklers to the 34. No further than that. Jason Allen with the stop. They get a little bit of that yardage back, only about 4. So a third down and 19 coming up for the Tigers with 10:42 to go in the first half. Auburn leading
play.
Yep.
Safe play, second and long. It's going to be third and about 20 to go. You got to think that Auburn won't try to take a whole lot of chances. Tennessee will be in a prevent defense.
Third down and 19. Auburn leading Tennessee 14-3 in the second quarter here in Knoxville. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field as Auburn moves from right to left, one to the near side. Campbell out of the shotgun. Ronnie Brown in the backfield. To Campbell's right, and a flag comes in there. Early movement, I think, by Auburn again. May have been Danny Lindsay
Dead
again.
ball. False start. Number 68 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Well, it's tough for a guard to jump off because the ball is right there. You got to look at the ball. You can't start swaying backwards. Now, tackle is a little bit tougher, but you can't start swaying back if you're a guard because you just got to watch the ball.
So now back to 3rd and 24. Let's see if Auburn plays it safe here. Up 14-3. Passing situation. Campbell out of the shotgun. He's going to go deep downfield for Aroma Shadu near sideline. And it is caught! Oh, what a catch by Aroma Shadu at the 25-yard line. I don't believe it.
Perfect timing with Devin Arumashadu making a fantastic catch for us to come back on and let you know that we do know what the plan is going to be going forward. And, Andy, there will be no more baseball tonight here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, but there could be, if the weather cooperates, a good bit of baseball tomorrow.
We know that this game will resume tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow morning, with Auburn leading 2-0 and Tennessee coming to the plate in the bottom of the first. An Ike Irish 2-run homer in the top of the first, the only scoring in the first inning after a walk to Cade Ballou. Auburn starter Samuel Dutton had not thrown a pitch on the mound. He had obviously warmed up and was getting ready. As a matter of fact, Auburn's defense was going to the field after the top of the first when the umpires halted this game. They brought out the tarp on the mound. And again, for those that have not joined us, the mound is that's the only non-artificial surface on this playing surface. But it has been raining and raining steadily since, goodness, 3 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah.
And there has been some lightning in the area, but the rain has not stopped for, 5 hours or so. And it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. So Auburn and Tennessee will resume game 1 of this series in the bottom of the first, with Tennessee coming to the plate and Auburn about to throw its first pitch of the day at 10 o'clock Central Time tomorrow morning. Coverage right here, of course, on the Auburn Sports Network.
Yeah, we'll come on the air at 9:55 tomorrow morning with just a quick reset, and then we'll be ready to go with the bottom of the first inning. Again, there's weather tomorrow in the forecast, and we'll just see. Let's just get there. What we know tonight is Auburn leads 2-0, and we will resume this game tomorrow at 10 Central.
Let me give you a couple Auburn scores from today. Both wins for the Tigers. Auburn women's tennis, a win over South Carolina State, 4-love at the Yarborough Tennis Center. Auburn will play Wisconsin in the second round of the NCAA tournament tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Yarborough Tennis Center. Auburn softball, a winner today against North Carolina State, a game that ended actually a run rule game in the bottom of the sixth. Auburn won that game by a score of 8-0. Game 2 is set for tomorrow at Jane B. Moore Field. And game 1 of this series will resume tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Central with the broadcast right here on the Auburn Sports Network.
That is correct.
Auburn leading 2-0.
Auburn leading 2-0. All right, it's been a long day at the ballpark. Thank you for those of you who are hanging with us tonight, hoping to hear Auburn baseball. It's a good start for the Tigers. So try to keep that going tomorrow behind Samuel Dutton tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. All right, you want to close it out for us?
I shall.
All right.
Auburn baseball, the general manager of the Auburn Sports Network is Ben Harling. Auburn baseball produced by Brad Law. Our Skyview studio producer tonight, Quinn Burkeen. Again, your score as we move into the bottom of the first tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Central Time. Auburn 2, Tennessee nothing. From our broadcast partner, Brad Law. I'm Andy Bertram. So long, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow morning at 10 Central. War Eagle from Knoxville.
You've been listening to the